While KSI's online career has had its fair share of controversy, 2024 has become the year that he has completely ruined his reputation beyond repair. From being called out for involvement in crypto schemes,
yesterday, he accidentally exposed the pump and dump crypto scams that he promoted,
to staging a complete meltdown after a horrible song release.
If the whole thing was different, it would be better, right? It's actually the most liked comment on the music video. It's got more likes than my actual music video.
It's no wonder KSI's online presence has been on a steep downward trajectory. However, that's only the tip of the iceberg, as KSI's response to the situation has only added fuel to the fire and turned anyone that was left against him.
What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their life? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better.
Throughout his 15 years on YouTube, KSI has dabbled in several different styles and strategies when it comes to content creation. From gameplay videos to comedy skits and even mainstream television, KSI's eccentric personality and willingness to expand his horizons has allowed him to build a platform that boasts over 24 million subscribers. While KSI's over-the-top online persona has brought him unparalleled success on the platform, it has also spawned considerable amounts of controversy, getting banned from Eurogamer, backlash for using gamer words in his videos, and heated feuds with other creators and his brother Deji are just a few examples of KSI's ego landing him in hot water. Even though KSI was able to walk away from these incidents with no lasting consequences for his career or fan base, his unchecked ego would continue to get the better of him. A good example of this was KSI's response to the first loss in his boxing career at the hands of Tommy Fury.
KSI, your thoughts after that robbery? It's a robbery, bro. How many jabs did he land? How many jabs did you land? You didn't get hardly any shots off. And you got a point off as well.
I'll tell you one thing. He can land two right hands around, but I was pushing the pace, I was throwing the shots, and I was the one put with.
You weren't landing. You weren't.
Unable to accept defeat, KSI would make a long-winded response to the match and try to use every method imaginable to downplay Tommy's victory.
In terms of the Tommy Fury fight, I feel like I've come out better. Way better than he has. Like, I would much rather be in my position than his. I mean, it's nice to know that my fight with Tommy Fury will be the biggest fight he will ever have in his life. Even if he fights anyone else, no one is gonna care.
Even going as far as taking jabs at Tommy's personal life.
And to be honest, Tommy Fury has been pretty embarrassing these past few weeks. From him being with Chris Brown, having zero rhythm, looking hella awkward, to him attempting to dance with Tion Wayne, to whatever this clip is, all while Molly May is looking after his kid at home.
Even though the results of the match were rather divisive, KSI's reaction only served to make him look like more of a loser, a fact his viewers quickly pointed out, with comments that read, "Always been a KSI fan, and wanted him to win. But after seeing the way he has reacted to losing, I'm happy he lost. Now I'm older, I understand what Deji was saying about KSI being egotistical. He's also a master manipulator to twist his fans' opinions. As well as, a wise man once said, being a sole loser is even worse than being a loser." Fortunately for him, it wouldn't be long before viewers forgot about KSI's arrogant rambling and moved on to other things. However, it would soon become apparent that KSI hadn't learned from his mistake, as his overinflated ego and inability to handle criticism were about to wreak more havoc on his reputation in ways he could have never imagined. By the 15th of February 2024, an online investigator, CoffeeZilla, would put KSI under the microscope with a video titled, "KSI Accidentally Exposes His Crypto Scams."
he accidentally exposed the pump and dump crypto scams that he promoted. They've been hidden for 2 years, but only came out when KSI logged back into his old Twitter account, saying, "Does this still work?" Now, if you didn't know, this is KSI's crypto account where he used to talk about crypto coins he liked, but he messed up because one investigator has been waiting for him to return to the scene of the crime. And that person is not me, it's Zach XBT, a crypto investigator on Twitter.
CoffeeZilla went on to show how Zach confronted KSI on his previous shady crypto deals and promotions.
Now, many people, including myself, hadn't seen anything from KSI to this point that seemed shady. But Zach had been waiting for this moment. He goes on, "Remember when KSI posted this? All of a sudden, my XCAD bag is looking juicy again. Hodl gang, then proceeded to dump $850,000 worth of XCAD over the following days from his wallet address,
as well as sharing proof of KSI selling tokens that he publicly claimed to hold.
Zach also shared a picture as proof. A series of transactions from KSI's wallet where starting on March 27th, when he sent that tweet, KSI started selling XCAD. The same day he tweeted he was part of the HODL gang, slang for someone who wouldn't sell this crypto coin, right? In fact, that wasn't the only time KSI has mentioned this holding stance publicly.
I'm holding my bags. I'm holding my Luna, my XCAD.
Videos like this are why people genuinely thought KSI was just buying and holding, but he wasn't.
To get some clarity on the situation, CoffeeZilla contacted KSI about the pump and dump allegations, and he had this to say.
The HODL gang, LMAO, sold some profit, as well as my own money, to put into Luna, thinking I would profit more to buy back more XCAD, and took a major L. Still fully believe in XCAD, the ability to earn from watching content. Honestly, you should talk to Redacted. He's very excited about this project. I never left crypto. I've just been watching it from the shadows. It's kind of hard to leave when you've invested so many years into it. He then shared a personal account screenshot showing that he does have some XCAD still held. It doesn't really change the core accusation of whether he pumped and dumped his fans.
While there was some plausible deniability if KSI was involved in only one crypto scheme, it becomes a lot more difficult to believe his story when he was involved in the same scheme twice.
But then I got another message which changed everything from Zach. He said, I have one more KSI example with a different coin. Turns out on March 20th, 2021, KSI tweeted this. 2 NFT coins I'm very bullish on, Super and Earn. Any other NFTs I should look at? Now, normally when you're bullish on a coin, you buy that coin. But that's not what KSI did. See, right after he tweeted that, 6 hours later, he sold $174,000 worth of Earn token. And then 4 hours later, sells another $174,000. Now, if that isn't a textbook pump and dump, I don't know what is.
When questioned about the second crypto pump and dump, KSI replied with this statement.
He says, I don't really remember the details of every transaction I made. These were coins I put my own money in, thinking they would do well. I would listen to what people said on Twitter and just follow stuff. I invested in Doge, etc. I didn't have malicious intent in trying to scam. I was new to crypto, so I was excited, putting money in random things and trying to chase the pumps, and ultimately lost heavily. I hope people didn't take advice or tweets as gold, because looking back at my track record, I was effing dog shit. I wish I was an evil genius that would pump and dump at the right time, because then at least people would say that I had some wit about me. Reality is I was just at crypto.
In addition to this, KSI claimed that the contradiction between his tweets and trading behavior was due to being trolled by the market.
And I said as much. I said, I'm just trying to understand why you traded the opposite way that you were saying on Twitter. And KSI replied this, because I thought I was getting trolled. Honestly, every time I tweeted something, the opposite would happen on the market. So I decided to tweet the opposite of what I was actually doing and still took an L. He thought the market was against him, so he publicly said one thing while privately, secretly doing the opposite, which is kind of the definition of a pump and dump when you promote that to a big audience.
The holes in KSI's story would only continue to get larger, as Zach revealed yet another obvious example of dishonest activity.
Meanwhile though, while I was confronting KSI, I heard a final response from Zach XBT, which he said, I found another example. See, on May 11, 2021, KSI Crypto tweeted, this is about to explode. Only moments later, though, he sold $25,000. Didn't buy it, which I get it. It's a relatively small amount, but it furthers that same pattern of behavior.
Not long after these allegations were made public, another member of the crypto community and fan of KSI by the name of Vipor published a 38-page document defending him, as well as offering counters to the tweets Zach presented. The main argument of the document was that KSI wasn't a serious trader and had lost money on several occasions. Reading, KSI had no reason to pump and dump the coins, and KSI did not pump and dump any coin, but the false allegations and half-truths were shared in such a way to make it look like KSI has scammed his fans. But in actuality, he did not scam any of his fans, but has himself lost a lot of money in his trades. Even though it wasn't clear if KSI had traded maliciously or not, CoffeeZilla would later put forward the notion that influencers should be held accountable when promoting a financial product.
That, like, if a public influencer with a lot of followers promote something and they say they're bullish, they say they're excited, they say they're huddle gang, and they sell, that's a pump and dump.
To illustrate his point, CoffeeZilla would share more messages of him telling KSI how much of an impact he had on the market.
I shared with him the volume calculation I had done based on an aggregate of a bunch of different crypto exchanges showing that XCAD's volume went up. Because one thing he told me, he's like, look, I hope people didn't actually take my tweets. And I said, this is XCAD trading volume. The red arrows are right after you tweeted, people dumped in money. Trading volume spiked by millions of dollars multiple times. Whether or not you realize it, you have insane influence more than most celebrities. Wielding it like this is bad, whether or not you have ill intentions.
Despite CoffeeZilla's attempt to present the situation in good faith, KSI would respond on stream by trying to frame him as a clout chaser.
Well, honestly, it's kind of mad how CoffeeZilla has made not one, not two, but 3 videos on me. And I haven't even responded yet.
In addition to this, KSI argued that he was too rich to participate in crypto schemes or scam anyone.
But I don't know, why would I scam? I've turned down millions and millions and millions of deals. Like tens of millions of me to do, I don't know, some gambling stuff. So why would I go on crypto and pump and dump? For what?
Instead of properly addressing the allegations, KSI was trying to discredit his critics, and his viewers wouldn't hesitate to call him out on it, with comments reading, "I still don't understand why JJ would sell hours after tweeting to buy the crypto." This response addressed none of CoffeeZilla's points. Also, JJ is not gonna sue anyone. That's the most empty threat I've ever seen. As well as, mate, you've been hanging with Logan Paul too much. You literally tweeted about the crypto, but 15 minutes later dumped. You do realize that is the definition of a pump and dump. Sadly, this wouldn't be the only instance of KSI's association with Logan souring his relationship with his own fans. In the coming months, the two creators were about to collaborate on a product that only served to turn fans against them. By the 16th of September 2024, KSI, Logan Paul, and Mr. Beast would launch a children's food product named Lunchly. They marketed the product as a healthy alternative to the already established Lunchables.
With Lunchly, you get double the amount of liquid.
Prime has no sugar added, more electrolytes, and more B vitamins.
Crunch Bar. Feastables Crunch Bar.
Yeah!
Our pizza uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese.
As you'd imagine, people were skeptical of the product because of Mr. Beast's involvement and other blatantly unhealthy items included in the meal, Feastables, and Prime. However, that wouldn't be the only source of hate for their new product, as popular YouTube creator Dan TDM pointed out something everyone knew but hadn't said, with a tweet that read, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is just selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. But how does it benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." The tweet would go viral and spark a massive wave of criticism directed at both Lunchly and the creators behind it. From the concerns about the impact on children's health, to the disapproval of the influencer's misleading marketing techniques, people held nothing back in their criticism of Lunchly. By the 22nd of September 2024, KSI could no longer bear the hit to his ego over the hate for Lunchly and defended the product in a video titled, "Everybody Hates Us Right Now."
This is what I said. Looks like crap to me, while showing his toys that he sold to kids. How does this benefit your fans, Dan? Now, obviously, people didn't realize that I was shining a mirror in his face. Instead, they were like,
wait, you did the same as Dan. You made toys with Tube Heroes.
and yes, that's fair, but I'm not the one complaining.
KSI would then go on a rant about how Dan TDM had sold food products to children before, and that what he was doing was no different, as well as cherry-picking negative responses from viewers and claiming they were representative of Dan's entire audience.
Sponsored, then promoted, and made a whole video on Munch Pack, a monthly sub box full of food and candy to his Minecraft audience full of kids. His fans imploded. Some just decided just to be racist. When a knicker like KSI does nothing in life and still gets paid for it in something other than welfare or food stamps, it's noteworthy. It's like how monkeys in the jungle have started to understand the concept of tools.
What KSI didn't seem to understand was that he was presenting Lunchly as a healthy alternative for children, while only promoting the food product based on taste and satisfaction. Unfortunately, KSI already set his mind on the idea that the backlash was simply due to people hating on him, Logan, and Mr. Beast.
Where was the same energy when Ryan Trahan released Sweets? Where was the same energy when FaZe Rog released Sweets? I'm not seeing people going crazy towards them on Twitter. You know why? I've realized why. It's because people just hate us. People just hate us. People hate Logan Paul, okay? They hate Mr. Beast. And they hate me.
Naturally, viewers didn't support that idea and decided to show KSI what true hate looks like. The video would receive over 200,000 dislikes, and the comment section was filled to the brim with people trolling KSI. Him fake laughing every 10 seconds just makes him look desperate. KSI's ego has grown so much to the point where he actually believes that he hasn't done anything wrong, as well as bro's ego is bigger than his forehead. Around a day later, a health professional named Dr. Mike would give his expert opinion on the matter and point out several nutritional concerns that were being overlooked.
What I was able to conclude is that Lunchly has less sugar and therefore less calories than Lunchables in comparable kits. That's probably due to the drink component of the kit, as Capri Sun uses sugar and Prime is artificially sweetened. Lunchly has significantly more potassium than Lunchables because of the Prime drink, which I guess is good, but not something I'd regularly use in deciding if a food is an ideal lunch for a kid. But the entirety of the kit is still considered an ultra-processed meal.
On the subject of Lunchly, Dr. Mike would have this to say.
Kids need energy to function and calories give them that energy. Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories.
And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium,
which is also significantly over the USDA standards. It's clear Lunchly, just like Lunchables, misses the mark too many times to be considered meaningfully healthier, at least in my opinion.
Seeing the dubious health claims of Lunchly get debunked wasn't the only thing KSI had to worry about, as his next project was about to face even more hate and criticism. Around the end of September, KSI began promoting his new single, Thick of It, with some strange marketing tactics, with a tweet reading, "A lot has happened these past few days online, so here I am addressing everything below." Due to the misleading nature of the tweet, he was immediately hit with a community note that read, "Not only is the link 100% misleading, which breaks X guidelines, it's also a marketing tactic by WMG, who created the site, that's using anger surrounding his controversies to promote his new single. This same tactic was also used recently for the song, but with Jake Paul." Unfortunately for KSI, no amount of marketing was enough to prevent the overwhelmingly negative response to the song, as the YouTube release received over 1 million dislikes. To add insult to injury, one of the comments under the video would receive more likes than the actual song itself, something that KSI couldn't stand.
If the whole thing was different, it would be better, right? Fantastic. This was literally my top comment. If anything, it's actually the most liked comment on the fucking music video. It's got more likes than my actual music video. A comment! 202,000 likes on this comment. Why aren't you liking the video?
KSI's other single, Low, would endure a similar treatment, with over 30,000 dislikes. The trolling and hate didn't stop there, as TikTok and YouTube were flooded with videos making fun of the song's lyrics and presentation.
New song is straight fire if you were to listen to it on fucking mute. I am being 100% deadass when I say this. This is one of the worst songs I've ever fucking heard in my life. Wait till you see the music video. All my ops getting it. You're not ready. Bro, who exactly are your fucking ops? Dan TDF?
During Aiden Ross's stream, KSI would have a knee-jerk reaction when questioned about the audience's reception of the song.
What do you want to happen? What do you it's already out. Your song's already a meme. What do you want to happen now? What is
I just wanted to stop. I wanted to stop. I want people to stop making fun of my song.
I understand, man.
You don't fucking understand because you haven't released a song before. Imagine putting your heart and soul into a project and then release it into the world and everyone's going, ha ha, ass, trash. From the screen to the ring to the pen to the king. I'm literally talking about every aspect in my life.
Currently, KSI is still getting heated over the hate towards the song, and it doesn't look like that will change anytime soon, with a tweet reading, "Generational haters everywhere. I'm so tired of it at this point, just leave me alone." KSI is the perfect example of a creator who's incapable of noticing or learning from their mistakes. He couldn't handle the backlash from Saul losing after his fight with Tommy Fury, nor could he properly respond to the allegation of being involved in several crypto pump and dumps. Instead, KSI tried to protect his ego by hiding behind his insecure laughter other and deflecting legitimate arguments. That kind of behavior rarely goes unnoticed by the internet, and it was only a matter of time before KSI's other endeavors were all hit with the hate he had been avoiding. But KSI was not the only creator whose public image started collapsing the moment viewers stopped buying the act. Jack Doherty is one of the most hated YouTubers on the entire platform, and for good reason. He's unlikable, annoying, and has an extremely punchable face. But you would think that after receiving every warning imaginable and turning the entire internet against him, that Jack would reconsider the path of being a public nuisance for views and clout.
Is this your house? Yeah. Okay, what do you want to do? We're not here to play games. Flip a coin. What do you want to do? Heads, we send him to jail, tails. No! Hey, he's not going to...
Unfortunately, it would only be a matter of time before Jack's wild antics caught up with him and threatened to end his entire career. Around 7 months ago, I uploaded a video discussing Jack's rise to notoriety and later infamy on YouTube. In a nutshell, Jack is a creator and streamer who made a name for himself by capitalizing on viral trends and lighthearted trolling content.
Yo, what is up guys? Jack Doherty here, back with another video. Today I'm gonna be going trick-or-treating the day after Halloween. Yeah, I got my GoPro on my head. I'm just gonna tell people I'm a doctor or something for Halloween.
However, as his online career progressed, Jack would escalate his content from a few harmless pranks to extremely disorderly conduct, with stunts like him harassing Ninja on stream, getting kicked out of public spaces, and shutting off the power at Walmart. Jack wanted to cause as much mayhem as possible for the sake of viewership and clout.
Guys, you better shut off the lights on Walmart. Panel 1, panel 8.
Bro, just go.
14, 16, 18.
Go ahead.
That means aisle 14, aisle 16.
Alright, do it.
Eventually, Jack's thirst for attention pushed him to go beyond public misconduct, and he began harassing random people on the street during live streams.
What? Little bro, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, bro?
Jack's streams would only get more degenerate and outrageous as he frequently hosted or attended parties that featured controversial figures like Neon, the Island Boys, and FuzzyTube.
We did that to make him feel big. Y'all gonna stare here and not clap for him? Y'all are all beta as f***.
Sheriff, this guy's f***ing beta as f***. God damn it. Beta said, hey. Yo, you're a f***. You're a little f***.
While controversy and outrage were the cornerstones of Jack's online persona, it didn't always work in his favor. On the 7th of January 2024, Jack received a 24-hour ban on Kick after he asked a girl to expose herself on stream. Even though Jack was comfortable making a fool of himself for attention, he wouldn't allow anyone else that luxury. By the 11th of January 2024, Jack would falsely copyright claim videos from YouTubers Memulus and I'm Alex, with a tweet reading, "Hey Team YouTube, Jack Doherty is abusing YouTube's copyright system by claiming videos that are clearly not infringing on his rights to farm revenue," with a British loser replying, "He claimed mine as well." Thankfully, Team YouTube would resolve the issue. Up until this point, Jack had hardly faced any repercussions for his deplorable attitude. However, all that was about to change, as Jack received the most shocking reality check of his entire career. On the 21st of February 2024, a personal injury lawsuit would be filed against Jack and his bodyguard Justin Gosley. The document would allege the following. On October 28, 2023, plaintiff was attending a Halloween party at approximately 12:30 a.m. on the morning of October 29, 2023. Plaintiff was on the street outside the subject's premises and was talking to Doherty and Gosley. At one point in the conversation, Gosley asked Doherty, "What are we doing?" And Doherty said, "We're gonna fight. Us two versus you two. Alright, go," and gestured that he and Gosley were going to fight plaintiff and plaintiff's friend. Moments later, Gosley violently punched plaintiff in the face, sending him falling to the ground and causing serious physical injuries to his head, face, and neck. For a bit of additional context, the incident referenced was from this viral clip that Jack posted on his Twitter.
Yo, chill, no, you all said, why are you talking to, dog?
I'm just saying, y'all say you're just walk. Then walk.
Oh, what the fuck you talking to?
Oh, no, yo, stop.
What is wrong with you? Are you fucking
Hey, what's up? Hey, one by one, what's up, nigga?
fucking security guard?
After outlining the events that inspired the lawsuit, the document highlighted how Jack continued to profit off the incident and his involvement in similar confrontations. Reading, Doherty has and continues to generate income due to the many views the video has received, all to plaintiff's detriment. Doherty has a history both before and after the subject incident of filming himself harassing, assaulting, and antagonizing members of the public by having his security guard step in to intimidate and assault them if they react to Doherty's Doherty's harassment. The following links show various other altercations caused by Doherty.
Why? Because you're a clown, man. This is a resort. People are trying to chill and relax. You know my dad owns this place, right? Yo, if you stop talking to you were the one that came up to me first. No, you're the clown. You didn't have to say anything. That came in. I don't want to be filmed. Okay, well, just stop keep your hands down. Go to your room, dog.
While this was the first time Jack had faced this kind of legal trouble, the same couldn't be said for his bodyguard, who had a quote, history of assault and battery. Given the severity of the incident, the lawsuit would seek relief for damages and reimbursement for legal costs. Even though the case is still in court, the outcome of this lawsuit could encourage other victims of Jack's antics to come out with their own cases. Remember, Jack had spent the better part of last year terrorizing dozens of people for his streams, and any of them could decide to take things to court. Unfortunately, legal battles weren't the only thing Jack had to worry about. Around this time, a creator named Lenny Miller published a video titled I Fought Jack Doherty, in which he confronted Jack over trash talking him online.
You had hella trash to talk on stream, let's go. Let's go.
You're dumb as fuck.
What?
He's doing that for a clip.
Let's go. You had hella trash to talk on stream. Now let's go. You talked trash on stream last night. Let's go.
I don't care.
And you think it's funny? You won't say it to my face, but you'll say it on the VOD, huh?
Because I don't want to give you a clip like you're trying to do right now.
What do you mean?
As you'd imagine, Jack would only engage in the situation once he was a safe distance away and shielded by people around him.
I literally have boxing gloves. I have boxing gloves. Let's go. You're talking trash. Let's go. I literally will box you right now.
Ow, what the fuck?
Chill. But you won't box, that's what I'm saying.
Just hit the fuck out of the Kenley.
With each passing day, more and more people were turning against Jack, and that trend would only continue as his inner circle of friends were about to expose his darkest secrets. On the 30th of March 2024, two former friends and a former employee of Jack collaborated on a video titled Jack Doherty Must Be Stopped, which was meant to highlight several concerning details about the kick streamer.
For those of you guys that don't know, I'm Ricky, I'm Nick, and we actually met Jack Doherty back in 2017, right when we started popping off on YouTube. He started popping at the same time. We became friends. We actually filmed a decent amount of videos together, and we actually ended up moving in together in a house with all of us back in 2021. This is Matthew JGL. He worked with Jack Doherty from 3 million subs all the way to 10 million subs.
In the video, the trio alleged that Jake utilizes substances, surrounds himself with people who hate him, and places profit over human connection.
Jack's own brother says all the time that the only thing he thinks about is money, and he says it literally to anybody new that comes into the house. He will make it known at some point. Everyone in the team would come to me on their own time and talk about how they hate it there, they hate working with Jack, they want to pick something else, but they have no other options.
In addition to this, they would mention how Jack was promoting OF content to his young audience, despite him claiming otherwise.
His primary main source of income is, and how he gets people there is by making these hard to watch, fake little skit videos for Instagram and TikTok. And if you're above the age of 10, you know that they're clearly fake.
How many pumps does it take to explode the world's largest porn bottle?
Majority of his audience is younger kids. Just take a look at this video. These are fans coming up to him out in public. He also has these girls in his videos that are all signed to his agency, and he takes a majority of their income and pays them a small salary, a small fraction of what they bring in. And Jack will say that these videos are geared towards older people to try and get older people with money to spend money on him and his girls.
What's even more concerning were details about Jack's personal life, as his former friends claimed he used to shoplift when they lived together.
And to start it off, this is something that rubbed all of us the wrong way when we all lived together, is we would go to the grocery store and Jack would literally just shoplift. He would just open a box of food, eat it, and then leave the open empty box just on the shelf, on the counter for some worker to clean up. And we would sit down and try to have talks with him and be like, yo, just pay for it, bro. But whenever we talked to him, it couldn't get through to his head. He would just be like, whatever, bro.
They also accused him of stealing products at the self-checkout terminal.
He had like 5 things he was checking out. Well, it would be a whole full grocery cart, and he would only scan one of the items out of the 5, and then he'd go to the next thing, one of them out of the 5, the next thing, one of them out of the 5, and just full-on scamming these companies.
Even though they were criticizing Jack for his wild lifestyle and degenerate antics, his former friends still wanted to help and see him improve.
To compare the two, but Jake Paul back in the day was going down down a path that people could see from the outside could lead to a bad outcome. And even Jake Paul recently was on the podcast with George Janko, and he pretty much said the same thing that Ricky said about Jack Doherty, that Jack Doherty, he's going down this path, but Jack Doherty's mindset towards all of this, he hears it and he just hears it all as hate, not taking it as love, that people want to help him.
By the 10th of April 2024, Jack would upload a rather angry response to his former friends and to deflect the criticism.
I'm tired of hypocrites. Everyone that has ever come after me has done everything I've done because they're fake, and I cut them off months ago, and now they went to trying to going the route of exposing me because I won't film videos with them. They're just fake. They're desperate for clout and they're jealous.
In between all of his swearing, Jack accused his haters of trying to be like him, but failing, and claimed he never did anything wrong.
There's nothing to expose. Everything I do is already out there. I'm not a bad person. If I did anything wrong, I would be in trouble, but I'm not, because people like to twist, make it seem like what it's not, because they just can't believe what I've accomplished, and they just want to say everything that's not true to cope with the fact that they're not at where I'm at. People try to do what you do, and if they don't succeed, they just hate.
The allegations made against Jack would only continue to increase, as another one of his former associates named Norway would accuse him of housing a minor.
Jack, I'm gonna tell people she was 17, Jack. Sophie girl. Oh, not Sophie, Sophia. Sophia's little sister was 17. That was at the house. And then you said they're never coming back to the house. 4 days later, Jack, Ace invited the 17-year-old and her friends over to the house. And I also have messages of Sophie messaging me, Daddy, please forgive me, or Daddy, please come over, or something. But I didn't want to come over because you were 17-year-old. And Jack, I messaged you, I told you to kick them out, and then you didn't do shit about it because you're in Dubai. But yeah.
In his Twitter community, Jack would address the situation with a tweet that read, "Can't believe Norway switched up on me that fast. I never even kicked him out. I genuinely cared about the kid and did everything for him, and still would. Hope one day he realizes how good he had it and how he threw away his best friend for 15 seconds of fame." Underneath Drama Alert's coverage of the tweet, Jack would defend himself by stating, "That minor he said I had out my house was invited by him, and right when I found out, she got kicked out. TF do I get out of having minors at my house? I never invite girls to my house. I have a GF. Think what you want, but I have too much to lose to do stupid stuff like that." Norway wasn't the only one accusing Jack of acting inappropriately with minors, as Neon also brought up similar allegations months prior.
You're a fucking joke. Let me tell you exactly what Jack does. I don't care. You want to say that? Now I'm going to violate you and expose your script. Here's what you do. I'm going to tell you exactly what you do. You get 17-year-old girls the night before their birthday, you buy a $10,000 yacht every time. You get them drunk and they sign a contract, 50% of their life every single time. Fuck you.
Stranger still, the pattern of former friends and colleagues accusing Jack of being too close with minors extends all the way back to December 2023, when Natalie Reynolds made similar claims. In a tweet that read, "Oh, by the way, the grooming thing ain't a joke, lol. This girl was 17 and Jack waited months for her birthday to get her drunk and sign a contract on a yacht." As well as, "Jack Doherty has paid someone to take down and ban my Instagram account. Insecure narcissist is mad he can't make money off me anymore, and I'm realizing the truth. Stick to grooming minors." While none of these allegations have been proven or disproven, it's clear that the people close to Jack Doherty are slowly turning against him and revealing who he truly is when the cameras aren't rolling. Even State Farm, his insurance company, wants nothing to do with him. According to a recent TMZ article, Jack attempted to use his renter's insurance to cover his ongoing lawsuit. However, State Farm claims it's gone outside his coverage and is appealing to the judge to exclude them from the case. From the look of things, Jack is rapidly running out of allies, and only time will tell how many he'll have left by the time the legal battles are over. In his early days, Jack assumed harassing and taking advantage of people to promote his content was a good long-term strategy, but sadly, he couldn't have been more wrong. The fake friends and bodyguards he used to hide behind are dropping like flies, and no one in the community is willing to stand by him. And somehow, even after hitting a new low, Jack Doherty still found a way to make the situation worse. Jack Doherty spent years harassing the public, antagonizing others, and being a self-entitled man-child who's willing to cross any boundary for content. No! But now, he's finally getting what he deserves. He's been permabanned from Kick, his girlfriend McKinley broke up with him.
It's like my girlfriend called the cops on me. I can't believe what's happening right now. Girls are, the fake, you guys wouldn't even believe it. Bro, you called the cops on me in my own house after I've done everything.
And if that wasn't bad enough, he's also running out of the money he earned by selling his soul.
Everything, bro. When I met this girl, I was making $1.5 million a month. Now, I'm making probably a tenth of that. Like, what the?
But even that's not the end of his downfall, since he's desperately trying to farm sympathy points by pretending to act miserable.
I love her, and she's my girlfriend. That's why I've been with her for the past 2 years. You know, it's like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna be with someone I don't love or don't think I would be with in the future. And I don't think it's something like we can't overcome.
And faking a robbery.
I just got robbed on Rodeo Drive. 4 armed guys hopped out of their car, ripped both my chains off my neck.
Unfortunately for Jack, the internet couldn't care less. Every day when Jack is having a bad day is a good day. I've been waiting for this moment for years. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with the Jack Doherty saga, here's a super quick recap to get you up to speed. His much-awaited downfall began with him crashing his car. After trying to read his stream chat while flooring it in the rain, he's since been caught viewbotting his streams.
Okay, Jack Doherty with the views. Look at robot views. Okay, let's see stable Ronaldo. Okay, let's see. Oh, whoa.
Exposed for scamming his remaining viewers with a crypto rug pull.
I'm buying McLaren coins. All right, let's go. I just bought 5 soul. Worth. Let's see.
And permabans from Kick after he got into a fight with a stream sniper.
They're getting chips everywhere.
More recently, his girlfriend McKinley broke up with him and left him without his biggest source of income, which was her OF account.
Just use me for fucking money. For real. For sure. I never thought it would be possible, but it's obvious. It's like no bitch flips like that in 24 hours, changes their passwords to absolutely everything, calls the cops to me to take all their shit, and like that. Like, who the fuck does that after I've done everything for this?
That's where we left off in my last video, and things have only gotten messier since, starting with Jack's complete inability to decide on the narrative he wants to portray. He went from accusing McKinley of using him for his money.
Don't even know her. It's insane. Like, evil, bro. She's been plotting this shit for a minute. This bitch used me for fucking money. For real. For sure.
To putting on a sad face and talking about how much he still loved her the very next morning.
I love her, and she's my girlfriend. That's why I've been with her for the past 2 years. You know, it's like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna be with someone I don't love or don't think I would be with in the future.
Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that maybe these were his real feelings. After all, he looked genuinely distraught by the sudden breakup. But make no mistake, the only thing Jack really cares about is the content, which is why he changed his tune once again, and went from practically begging McKinley to come back to getting a new girlfriend who looks like McKinley's long-lost twin sister named Christiana Sansone. But when this new relationship failed to get the attention he was looking for, Jack moved on to his next genius plan, one that involved a potentially fake crime. On the 7th of May 2025, he posted a video titled, "I got robbed for $300,000, in which he told the story of how he was robbed of his 2 diamond chains worth $300,000 in broad daylight while in the middle of a crowded area.
Rob me, they shoot both my fucking chains, bro. Dog. Jake, what the bro?
They had a gun.
Where's yours? What the bro? Like, why don't... What the dog?
And while he did call the police and file an official report,
it was 2 diamond chains, like $300,000. Did they touch you?
Yes.
Bleeding. One of them with 100K, one of them with 200K.
many people are convinced that he's lying about the whole incident, with comments like, no bruises or cuts from being knocked down, no scratches or red marks from chains being ripped off. He is very calm despite having, quote, guns pointed at him. Yeah, this is all lies. And that doesn't look like someone who's just been robbed, looks like someone who's filed a false police report and is instantly regretting it. What's crazy is that these accusations might turn out to be true. There's plenty of evidence pointing towards the whole thing being a fake stunt for attention, or as some people suspect, insurance fraud. For starters, Jack Doherty, the streamer who goes out of his way to film the lowest points of his life without a second thought, was somehow not filming when the robbery happened. Not to mention mention the fact that his story is full of holes and contradictions. For instance, at one point, he mentions getting tackled to the ground by the robbers.
That was a setup for sure, bro. It's too perfect. I walk out and they're right there, bro. Three or four of them just tackling me to the ground.
But then immediately changes his story to where he was pinned against a wall.
Pinned up against the wall like this, and I see my chains right there in this guy's hand, and I'm being pushed like this. Some other guy's going at my watch, and I'm like trying to fight him off.
But that's not all, because he changed the story once again and started talking about getting chased by the robbers instead.
Dude, he was chasing me around the road trying to get my watch off. And I don't know which way to go, bro. Because like, if I go too far away, he's gonna just get me alone, and I have a broken collarbone, so I can't even fight this guy.
His ex, who's known him for years, thinks that he made it all up as well.
So he got his chain yapped. No, I just want to get your opinion.
Okay.
For people that don't know, and this is up to you, but it just feels staged.
I feel like it's staged. I'm not gonna lie.
Put simply, most people aren't buying the robbery narrative, and the ones that do believe his story have zero sympathy for him either, with comments like, "Are the robbers okay? I hope they got home safe. Couldn't have happened to a better person," flooding his video. Jack's career is unraveling right in front of his eyes, and every attempt he's made to remedy the situation has backfired horribly. One of these attempts was his appearance on the No Jumper podcast with Adam22. Judging by his tone and mannerisms, it's obvious he's trying to come off as a changed man, someone who learned from his mistakes and is ready to move on.
I feel like the last time that we did the podcast, you were doing your thing, but it feels like a lot has changed since then.
Yeah, I was a little crazy back then.
Unfortunately for Jack, this podcast felt less like his redemption arc and more like an extended self-snitching session, where instead of outright denying the allegations of him recruiting girls that barely turned 18 for his OF business, he claims that, quote, most are older than him.
As if you're like only management shit was like primarily like aimed at getting girls who are like fresh out of high school. Was that like a fake narrative from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, most of the girls I work with are like older than me, even like a lot of them.
At one point, he also mentioned that McKinley didn't start her OF until 6 months into their relationship. This was his way of trying to shut down the accusations that he only got with her for her online earnings. However, this backfired spectacularly when McKinley revealed that she only started this business because Jack blackmailed her into it.
He told me he'd send me back home if I didn't, so I did it.
No.
Swear.
Now, I should mention that McKinley didn't provide any proof to back up this claim, but given Jack's track record, it's not hard to imagine him actually doing something like this, just to get the thing he loves above all else, money. Even when George Janko tried to call him out on this, his response essentially boiled down to, quote, because money.
This is a version of pimping. You're pimping these girls out. You don't think that's attacking your heart in any way?
No, because at the end of the day, they all, you know, they already like want to do what they're doing, and it's just like I just actually make the money doing it, because there are so many girls that actually do OnlyFans and make, you know, $0 and stuff, and they're doing it all for what, you know? It's like every girl I work with makes like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and millions of dollars a year, you know?
That being said, McKinley, for all her complaints about Jack, isn't much better either. Whether she was initially blackmailed by Jack or not, she eventually leaned into it hard, going as far as to use literal minors to promote her OF content.
I'm taking that Urus.
Urus?
Yep.
All right. Would you rather have this girl or this McLaren? McLaren? Oh, okay. All right, well, sorry.
After leaving Jack, she also started showing up on FaZe Lacey's stream, and it looked like the two of them really hit it off.
I don't know what's more beautiful, the fireworks or you?
That
was a good one, right? That was good. That was good. That was good. That was good.
Jack even tried to get McKinley's attention by donating to Lacey.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Doherty Jack, thank you for the 25 gifted.
Thank you. Of course.
Thank you for the...
But as it turned out, she was only hanging out with him for clout. Once she had what she needed, she disappeared and stopped replying to Lacey, all while also using a picture of them two together as promo on her OF, forcing Lacey to clarify the situation in a tweet reading, "The fact I even have to make this tweet is insane. I am being used as clickbait. I'm not in any pictures or videos. Please do not fall for this BS and get scammed. My legal team and I will be getting it removed immediately. Don't believe everything you see on the internet." internet. However, while this behavior hints that she might not be entirely blameless in how things fell apart with Jack, that isn't going to save his career at this point either. He'll likely continue to become more and more irrelevant with each passing day, until no one is interested in talking about him, no matter how many controversial stunts he tries to pull. Alternatively, if the robbery does turn out to be fake, he could actually face criminal charges for obstruction of emergency services, or something along those lines, and maybe even end up in jail. From there, the internet's appetite for consequences only got stronger when Johnny Somali finally ran out of luck. The most hated streamer in the world cannot stop making things worse for himself, from dancing shirtless in public to cursing at and threatening the judge handling his case.
Judge, prosecutor, y'all can suck my dick. Yeah. Suck off. Causing anxiety by carrying a fish. Tell the judge you can suck my dick. Bring a fish to your mother's house. I don't care.
Johnny's on a one-man mission to self-destruct, and at this rate, it won't be long before the phrase digging your own grave comes with a picture of Johnny as its definition. The last time I talked about him, he was claiming to be a conduit of evil, someone who's willing to do whatever his viewers ask him as long as they give him money.
If you want to see anarchy, if you're an anarchist, and you want somebody that is going to crash out with no remorse, with no sense of self-worth, with no sense of self-preservation, I will be your man.
Unfortunately for everyone else, he wasn't lying. He's since spiraled into even further degeneracy, willing to cross any moral line just so he can cling on to the little relevance he has left. And if that wasn't bad enough, the Korean authorities are now investigating him for a crime so disgusting, it overshadows everything else he's done so far.
Ramsey Khalid Ismail is under police. He has been, and this has been referred to the prosecutor, serious consideration of child sexual harassment.
We're taking yet another look at the train wreck that is Johnny Somali, how he's somehow found a way to sink even lower than before, and in a twist that defies all logic, how his vile actions are paradoxically paving the way for a better reality everywhere else. But until that positive change happens, everyone is stuck dealing with a guy like Johnny, who decided that he wasn't charged with enough crimes already and started harassing other streamers to add one more offense to his name.
Nana, what's up? Somali! Nana Somali! No! Nana Somali!
Go away, go away.
He stream sniped a creator known as Slightly Homeless and approached him without warning just to be a part of his content.
What the? What? Wait.
Yo!
Wait.
Switch the camera around.
Wait.
Switch the camera.
Wait.
Here.
Wait. You're setting me up. This is a setup.
You might.
Hey, you're gonna get me killed, dude.
Slightly Homeless knew exactly who Johnny was and wanted no part of him. But when he tried to walk away, Johnny began chasing him through the streets like a lunatic.
I think it's too late. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. You're just following me. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go, dude. Dude, I don't have no. Dude, get the.
From there, he kept stream sniping Slightly Homeless to find his location and show up wherever he went, all while harassing Slightly Homeless's girlfriend, a Japanese streamer, Nana, as well.
Oh, my Nana, what's up? Somali! Nana Somali! No! Nana Somali!
Go away, go away. Go away, go away.
Why are you acting like you are?
Go away, go away, go away.
High five.
Go away, go away. Go away. Go away, go away, go away.
When they refused to entertain his stalking, he went full maniac mode and started hurling extremely inappropriate and derogatory terms at Nana.
Remember when I told you Nagadashi, Nagadashi? Oh!
Timorina. Timor.
Timore, why are you saying that?
The only way they got away from Johnny was by taking shelter in a police station.
Johnny Somali stalking.
Something Johnny responded to by threatening to slap Nana and stalk her again the next day.
Let Nana come, I'll slap the fuck out of that bitch in front of her boyfriend, nigga. Give a fuck.
You mean I'm on that bitch tomorrow? If Nana's live, I'm on that bitch.
Basically the story. Do you think you stopped me? If Nana's live, I'm on that bitch tomorrow.
Fortunately, they managed to file a police report, resulting in Johnny getting slapped with yet another misdemeanor. However, this did little to stop Johnny, since, in his mind, he's done nothing wrong.
What are you talking about? Where's Nana? Is Nana outside? Is Nana outside? They told the judge this was twerking on the bus. This was twerking. How is that a crime?
But when you do that on strangers, that's harassment. Congratulations. Dude is completely losing it because he's slowly realizing his actions actually have consequences.
He even doubled down, went to a convenience store, and started blaring loud music, disrupting their business. Mind you, this is the same crime he's already being charged for already. Then, after getting home, he called the local police department to discuss the report Slightly Homeless filed against him, and with the help of Hank, tried to claim that the report was false.
조니 소말리랑 지금 어떤 연락을 받으신 거예요?
누가 조니가 뭐를 했다고 하면서 거짓으로 신고를 했어요.
As if the police would just believe their word and drop the case immediately. Though maybe he genuinely believed something like this would happen, because when it didn't, he became furious and started cursing at the officer on the phone.
Shut the f up, you ass.
And as if that wasn't enough, the very next day he was out on the street, twerking in nothing but his boxers.
Korea number one! Korea number one!
All while telling others to call the police.
Call the police right side right now, nigga. Call the police. Call the police now. Call the police right now.
But when the police did show up to arrest him again, he began panicking and started resisting arrest. However, while he was arrested, an officer dropped him back at home just a few hours later, which he was quick to brag about on Discord. What he fails to realize is that the Korean authorities are letting him roam free for a reason. Now, this is just a theory, but according to some rumors, the Korean officials are letting him do whatever he wants on purpose, just to let him stack up even more charges, which would make it much easier to lock him up for good. Even if that's not the case, Johnny's already doing a fantastic job of incriminating himself, all while live streaming the evidence. As a comment on YouTube puts it, it's so weird seeing a dude document his own self-destruction and revel in every moment of discourse. You'd think that after being humiliated in front of the entire world and being so close to spending the rest of his life behind bars, that he'd finally learn his lesson. Maybe just to lay low for a while. But nope, Johnny keeps on doubling down, even going as far as threatening to R-word female officers while he was detained for his obscene shirtless dancing.
They brought some females in Texas, they're lucky I don't just...
What makes this even worse is that this is far from the first time he's threatened to essay women. He did the same thing to female officers when he was in Israel.
Don't touch me. I'll slap that ass, I'll grab it too. Donald Trump told me grab it by the pussy, I'll grab that too.
And made even more vile threats against streamer Moxie.
Dirty ass, dirty bitch. Don't ever lie on my ass again, ugly ass block. Oh my God. I swear to God, I got niggas.
That said, he does have a 200 IQ plan to avoid jail time, and this plan is to get a bipolar disorder diagnosis so he can plead insanity.
And that me and Hank are gonna go to a psychiatrist pretty soon and bring the paperwork. We're gonna go to a psychiatrist here in Korea and bring them the paperwork of that. And hopefully he said it can help my case because I am diagnosed as bipolar 2 in America.
And while mental health can be taken into account during sentencing in South Korean courts, it's unlikely to do Johnny any favors, since he's publicly admitted to doing all the terrible things he does simply for money.
Why are you being racist to other people in other countries? Why are you bullying people in other countries? For money, like,
for clout. I've said it many times. I don't give a I have no morals. I'm a sociopath. I don't give a
at all. Like, period. Like, put this in your next YouTube documentary. I don't give a.
But even if you ignore everything he said before getting arrested in Korea, his behavior since then is more than enough to reveal the evil person he truly is. Because when he's not out harassing people on the streets or making disturbing threats towards women, he's on stream trying to intimidate the Korean government by claiming he'll turn himself into a bioweapon.
Korea does not let me out of Korea. I'm telling you right now, it is a danger to the Korean women. I have had so much sex with Korean women while I've been locked. I don't get any STD tests and I make sure to spread whatever I have to all of these Korean women.
These threats are obviously nothing more than the idiotic ramblings of a man desperate to create drama, but as many on the internet hope for, maybe the Korean government should take them more seriously. At this point, he is a risk to the public health and safety. That's bioterrorism and could mark him as an enemy of the state. I do hope the Korean police and court system takes this seriously. Hypotheticals aside, it's clear the Korean authorities have no plans to let Johnny walk away scot-free, because as it turns out, they've launched yet another investigation into his past actions. This time for a crime far more serious than being obnoxious in a store or harassing people on the street.
Here's a new spicy charge. Take some time. Let this sink in.
This goes back to when Johnny visited the Lotte World theme park in Seoul. There, he left his Bluetooth speaker on, allowing donors to play any audio they wanted on it. And this was just as disastrous as you might expect. At one point during the stream, while surrounded by families, the text-to-speech on his speaker started repeating a disgusting Korean phrase, which essentially translates to "I want to have blank with children." Now, he might try to argue that he doesn't understand the language, so he was completely unaware of what it meant. However, that argument falls apart quickly when you realize park employees repeatedly begged him to turn the speaker off. Yet he kept refusing, claiming it was just his quote ringtone.
Sorry, ringtone.
So he's pretending it's his ringtone. He's not turning it down intentionally. Once again, willful negligence. Even if he doesn't understand the text, willful negligence around children.
He was calling me on the phone. Down. Okay, good. Okay.
He keeps it on full blast, by the way.
If convicted, this alone could add another 10 years to his prison sentence. But even that's not the end of his troubles. His second trial was set for May 16th, 2025, and according to reports from people who attended the hearing, he was late yet again. But unlike last time, Johnny, quote, didn't have a smile on his face, which does make sense. Depending on the conviction, he can be sentenced to over 36 years in prison. While he's still putting on the act of being bold and unbothered, he's most likely starting to feel the weight of possibly spending the next few decades locked up in a foreign prison. A good example of this pressure is his change of mind about emulating Kanye. You see, he initially wanted to show up to court dressed in a black KKK robe similar to Ye.
Think about the cake outfit at the court. Is that too crazy? The same one Kanye had.
He even went ahead and got one custom made before the hearing. But after talking about this plan for weeks and spending actual money on it, he decided not to wear it at the last minute. Knowing Johnny, the only reason he didn't go through with it was because he was scared of extending his sentence even further. And to make matters worse, there's nothing he could gain from being his unhinged self anymore. He's been perma-banned from high-paying platforms like Kick. So, at this point, he's destroying his life for free. In his own words, it's not worth it anymore.
It's worth it.
At this point, no.
Unfortunately for Johnny, even if he suddenly decides to turn his life around now, it's too little too late. At this point, any regret he shows falls on deaf ears, because no one has any empathy left to give. He only regrets it now because the consequences are severe and can cost him over 30 years in a foreign prison, where they don't believe in things like pleading down and early parole. He also tried to blame his actions on alcohol.
You know what I mean? Like alcohol is definitely the reason why I've done so many great. And it's do not back down, never give up. It's not backing down, never giving up. It's about just bettering yourself as a person. I think I'd truly be a better person if I didn't drink alcohol. I feel like it doesn't bring anything better. It doesn't bring anything positive to my life. You know what I mean?
But much to his dismay, no one's buying that excuse. As a comment on YouTube puts it, he still takes zero accountability, now blaming alcohol for it all. What a turd. However, the biggest reason Johnny might be starting to clean up his act is because he's running out of support from all directions. He begged Ice Poseidon to unban him on Kick.
I feel like I'm a bad person. I want to come back to Kick.com. I want to stream on Kick again. I want to move past this. I literally do. I want to change.
But was shut down almost immediately. His parents disowned him.
You guys are my family. I'm not gonna lie. Like I told you guys, my family disowned me. My dad the other day, I was like, do I really cause you that much stress? And my dad told me, you caused the whole world stress. I'm ashamed to be your father.
And now, the only person who stood by him all this time, Hank, is also starting to feel the squeeze. He was begging for donations earlier, stating, "Legal fees are very taxing me. If anyone wants to help out with the legal fees, please donate." Also, Johnny has a travel ban. Korea doesn't let him work and doesn't give any support. Johnny is out of money now and I'm supporting him. There is no choice. He will starve if I don't. His parents also threatened to stop sending him money since he's wasting most of it on Johnny. And all of this is finally getting to him.
I'm getting also punished by South Korea because of guilty by association.
All of this is to say, even someone as stubborn as Johnny can't continue being a nuisance under these circumstances, which I suspect is why he pleaded not guilty to the 2 deepfake charges during the recent trial, as they're the ones that carry the bulk of his potential prison sentence. Unfortunately for Johnny, with the many clips of him proudly showcasing those videos himself, there's nothing he could say to successfully beat those charges. Though outside the courtroom, Johnny's infamy is starting to have a surprisingly positive impact on the world. As strange as that is, allow me to explain. In the beginning, Johnny's popularity looked like a bad thing for countries like Japan and Korea. People feared that many other nuisance IRL streamers would follow in his footsteps and make life a living hell for the residents of these countries. And while that did happen, it also had an unexpected side effect. Johnny's behavior made it painfully clear that the only real way to deal with these obnoxious streamers is to stand up to them. Now, people are no longer willing to let these streamers do whatever they want.
Come on, Japan, like, is this how it is? What the What are you doing? Yo, what the Yo! Yo, I'm getting attacked! I'm getting attacked!
And even the authorities are becoming more proactive in arresting foreign streamers when they cause trouble, which can only be a good thing. The only thing left now is for Johnny to get what he deserves. His next trial is set up for August of this year, and from what I've seen, the Korean government is going to make an example out of him. They know that letting him off with just a slap on the wrist would send the wrong message, an open invitation for other streamers like him to do the same. The Korean authorities need to show the world exactly what happens when someone else comes into their country just to harass and disrespect their people. But public humiliation is not always about getting arrested. Sometimes it's about becoming a global joke overnight. From going viral overnight to now drifting into irrelevance. From rubbing shoulders with the biggest celebrities every week to now getting kicked out of major sporting events. From bragging about $100,000 dinner bills at his luxury steakhouses, to watching his empire crumble right before his eyes. Salt Bae's story is a textbook example of how internet fame can vanish just as fast as it arrives, especially when ego takes the spotlight, and everyone sees the attention-hungry narcissist man behind the meme. Nusret Göçe started his life in a small Turkish village called Pazli, with limited resources and poor infrastructure. His father also worked as an ordinary mine worker, which unfortunately didn't pay enough to support a family. Due to the family's financial struggles, Nusret had to leave school at the age of 13 and start working as an apprentice at a butcher shop in Istanbul. And while Nusret had to work 13 grueling hours a day every day without a single day off, this job marked the beginning of his journey in the food industry, with him going on to work at various steakhouses across Turkey as years went by. Then, in 2007, he secured a $3,400 bank loan to travel across multiple countries and learn more about their meat industries and the steakhouse businesses. After doing this for 3 years, he returned to Turkey in 2010 and opened his very own steakhouse. It was a fairly small restaurant with just 8 tables and a handful of staff. Despite this, Nusret's steakhouse managed to catch the attention of high-end clientele, including the Turkish billionaire Ferit Sahenk, who was so impressed by the quality of food and service that he offered to invest and help Nusret branch out not just in Turkey, but across the Middle East. By the end of 2016, Nusret was already a fairly successful businessman. What he didn't know, however, was that his luck was about to change once again. On January 7th, 2017, he posted a video of himself dressed in a tight white t-shirt and dark sunglasses while slicing meat, and sprinkling salt on it in the most unusual ways. This went viral, racking up millions of views and shooting Nusret into internet stardom practically overnight. The moment of him pouring the salt got turned into a meme as well, making him even more popular than just the viral clip, with people now referring to him as the quote Salt Bae. Lamau, Salt Bae is at the other side of the world and has no idea he's an instant classic with Black Twitter. It's gonna be crazy to tell kids, oh yeah, that's Salt Bae, the way my dad told me about Paul Newman. I dressed up as Salt Bae for Halloween. From parody skits on national television
Shh, it's happening!
to professional athletes celebrating with his signature move on the biggest stages, Salt Bae had quickly become one of the most recognizable faces on the internet. This was a powerful position to be in, and Nusret understood this better than anyone else, because not long after he went viral, Salt Bae announced plans to open luxury restaurants in both New York and London that same month, followed by several more locations worldwide over the upcoming months. Now, the menu in these new restaurants was outrageously expensive, including things like a $100 burger, $10 for a can of Red Bull, $25 for a single dessert, and the star of the show, the $1,800 24-karat gold-coated tomahawk steak. Despite this, Salt Bae's restaurants were a massive hit almost instantly, with people traveling to them from around the world. More than the food itself, people were buying into an exclusive, over-the-top experience just for the chance to see the man himself in person.
Yes, sir.
Week after week, his restaurants attracted the biggest names in sports, music, films, and beyond. Salt Bae had successfully turned a viral internet moment into a multi-million-dollar global brand. But behind all of the gold steaks and celebrity selfies, the reality was far from glamorous. Because as it turned out, when it came to the actual food, Salt Bae's empire was style over substance. His London steakhouse, for example, was ranked among the bottom 33% of restaurants in the city on TripAdvisor, scoring a measly 2.9 stars with over 350 reviews, out of which 167 labeled it as outright terrible, with reviews like bad food at crazy prices, all seen and zero substance, the biggest scam ever, food was undercooked and tasted awful, as well as terrible service, way too expensive for being treated like third-class citizens. To make matters even worse, his burger joint in New York was branded as the worst restaurant in the city, with professional critics describing the food using phrases like a little rubbery and low on flavor, mundane, somewhat tough and rather bland, shoe leather tough, and public ripoff #1. You'd think that after seeing such terrible reception, Nusret would focus on eliminating those issues. However, the Salt Bae did not care one bit. He viewed himself as some sort of icon, saying things like, "Now everybody wants to be a butcher because of me. Now if you ask a kid, they want to be Salt Bae. They see me as an idol. I'm an inspiration to a lot of people in a very short period of time." It was clear that his instant online fame had inflated his his ego beyond bounds. The quality of food, the customer experience, it all took a back seat. What mattered most was the performance. He even started bragging openly on social media, sharing receipts of customers spending over $100,000 on a single meal, using them like trophies to show off his status. And it wasn't long before the brand stopped being about food entirely and became all about him. He filled his feed with shirtless videos, struck poses like a runway model, and carried himself like an A-list celebrity. But while the cameras were still rolling and the likes kept coming, behind the scenes, everything was starting to go downhill. The first domino fell in September 2018, when a fire stunt meant to impress diners went horribly wrong.
Oh my god! Ah! I yonder! Oh my
Flames shot out of control, injuring 4 people, including Czech internet personality Tinus Treknikova. She suffered third-degree burns over 35% of her body and was hospitalized for months. And while she managed to survive, her appearance was altered permanently. The incident made international headlines, yet the Salt Bae made no public statements or apologies, pretending like the incident never even happened. But his silence was just the tip of the iceberg, because while his customers were fighting for their lives, he was busy feeding a dictator. That same month, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife visited Salt Bae's restaurant in Istanbul, where they were treated to a lavish multi-$1,000 meal. And to add insult to injury, this all happened while Venezuela was in the midst of a devastating food crisis, with over 64% of the country's population losing an average of 11 kilograms or over 25 pounds due to food shortages and widespread hunger. Any person with even a shred of empathy might have declined to host a man overseeing that suffering. But not only did Salt Bae welcome him with open arms, he posted multiple videos online bragging about it. As you might imagine, the backlash was immediate and intense, and it wasn't confined to behind the screen. Protests broke out in front of his restaurants in Miami and New York. The issue even resonated with the US Senate, with Senator Marco Rubio stating, "I don't know who this weirdo Salt Bae is, but the guy he is so proud of to host is not the president of Venezuela. He is actually the overweight dictator of a nation where 30% of people only eat once a day, and infants are suffering from malnutrition." He eventually deleted the videos, but true to form, he never offered an apology. Because for Salt Bae, the performance always mattered more than the people. But Salt Bae's disregard didn't stop at bad reviews, burning guests, or feeding dictators. Things were even uglier behind the kitchen door. It all came to light in April of 2023, when Business Insider published an investigation report, uncovering a string of lawsuits and disturbing allegations that revealed an empire built on fear, exploitation, and control. Former staff described Salt Bae as a petty tyrant obsessed with image, power, and excess, with a former manager stating, "His world was nothing but Instagram and fame. The sensation was him. He ended up getting this godlike complex." Employees were fired without warning, sometimes for accidentally breaking a glass or simply wearing the wrong shirt. A bartender in London said working there felt like being in the Hunger Games. Another even compared Salt Bae to being a straight-up dictator. And that wasn't even the worst of it. Workers were forced to stage fake lines outside during slow hours and even sleep overnight in the restaurant during the COVID-19 pandemic and social unrest, all without getting paid overtime. And while he flaunted his wealth online, employees say he stole tips and punished mistakes by slashing workers' pay. In multiple lawsuits, employees alleged that management skimmed off 3% of tips or withheld them entirely, especially especially when high-profile celebrities were dining. A class action suit even stated that the management systematically fired each waiter who complained about not getting paid tips. One 19-year-old food runner had $140 deducted from her pay for delivering a bag of leftover steak to the wrong table. Another had $800 in tips slashed because a customer left without paying, as if she was supposed to hunt down the dine and dashes and collect the bill. But for the women working under Salt Bae, the exploitation went a level deeper, into humiliation, harassment, and outright abuse. A bartender, for instance, was told to wear a quote, short skirt, high heels, and revealing top on her first day. When she protested, she was harassed by male co-workers. One even followed her home, and just days after requesting to wear a standard uniform, she was fired. Another lawsuit claimed that a female server was denied a promotion because Salt Bae allegedly didn't find her physically appealing enough. And if all this wasn't bad enough, the horrendous culture of his restaurants reached the customers as well. Employees were routinely told to lie to customers, claiming cheaper cuts were premium, pouring leftover wine into new glasses, and even falsely labeling steaks as halal. Quote, it was just about trying to get almost as much money out of the people who were coming through the door. But even all this wasn't enough to satisfy the Salt Bae's ego. Eventually, his arrogance and sense of untouchable fame pushed him into doing something extreme in front of the whole world, resulting in the biggest public humiliation of his career. It happened on December 18th, 2022, when Argentina won the FIFA World Cup by beating France in a historic final. Fans were celebrating and players were emotional. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Salt Bae breached the pitch, crashed the moment, and acted like he belonged there. He grabbed Lionel Messi, one of the biggest athletes in the world, at the most significant moment of his career, just to pester him for a photo. Then he somehow found a way to make this even worse, by grabbing the actual World Cup trophy and posing with it, as if he were part of the winning team. With the entire world watching, these cringeworthy moments sparked a wave of online backlash as massive as the viral fame that once made him, with comments reading, "This is the example of people living without feeling shame at all. TF does this guy have to do with this hard-earned victory? Clout chasing on an epic level. What an idiot that guy is." FIFA eventually launched an investigation into the incident, while also banning him from all future events. A ban that seems to be effective to this day, as he was publicly kicked out of the UEFA Champions League final after party on June 1st, 2025 for trying to enter uninvited. He tried to save face by signing autographs outside, and claimed he wasn't there for the party, but for his quote, thousands of fans who wanted to see him. But the internet didn't buy the excuses one bit. Why is he even there in the first place? He's a nobody and hanger-on. Yeah, go and throw your salt somewhere else. That said, this mockery from the internet wasn't as intense as it should have been. Not because people like him now, but because most simply don't care. He's a mostly forgotten relic of the past, and after years of scamming customers with mediocre food, exploiting employees, and humiliating himself on the world stage, Salt Bae is finally paying the price. Most of his US steakhouses have shut down, his London restaurant is seeing a 50% drop in profits, and his Dubai location isn't doing much better either. With businesses in decline, his social media numbers plummeting, and the world turning on him, Salt Bae's story is well and truly over. With some patience, he could have easily ascended to the status of universally beloved figure like Gordon Ramsay. However, he let his ego and greed get in the way. The next downfall follows the same pattern: a fake persona, a massive audience, and a lie that could not survive forever. The Liver King went from earning $100 million a year to making the classic YouTuber apology video in his basement.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize. Because I f***ed up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied.
He spent months claiming that his hulking physique was the result of his quote, ancestral lifestyle, and absolutely nothing else.
Let me just tell you this. I have, this hair has never seen shampoo. This body doesn't see soap ever in terms of grooming. I'm my primal, wild, free version of myself. For the record, it's natty.
But then the truth came out.
Leaked emails, blood test results, and a full Steroid cycle breakdown. That's what we're going to be getting into in this video, and it is shocking to say the least.
And despite his attempts to justify his actions,
why did I, or why do I do them? When I talk about the 85% of the population that suffers from self-esteem issues, that's me. I'm part of that statistic.
the Liver King lost everything and was subsequently forgotten by the internet. Now, 2.5 years later, he's trying to make a comeback, starting with a Netflix documentary. Unfortunately for the Liver King, it's not going as well as he likely hoped. Before the Liver King persona took over, Brian Johnson was a successful but relatively ordinary businessman. Him and his wife ran several health and fitness supplement brands, the most notable being Ancestral Supplements, which featured beef liver and other organs as its core ingredients. This was also the brand that became the foundation for his Liver King identity when he burst onto social media in summer of 2021. The Liver King went viral across the internet soon after his debut, partially because of his impressive physique and unique appearance, but mostly because of just how gross his content was. He would regularly post videos of himself eating raw meat, livers, and other organs to the displeasure of everyone on the internet. According to Brian, this was his way of embracing a more primal lifestyle, one he claimed mirrored that of ancient humans, completely regarding the fact that humans were cooking their food as far back as 2 million years ago. Now, not everything he promoted was as extreme as eating raw liver every day. One of his teachings was about what he called the 9 ancestral tenets, which included things like sleeping more, eating healthy, doing more exercise, and making meaningful connections with others. However, while all of these are good things on their own, Brian promoted them as a way for others to achieve what he had.
What you need to do is learn about the root cause, these 9 ancestral tenets that will optimize your hormones and optimize your neurochemistry. You're going to be so happy and so fulfilled and have so much energy, so much positivity, so much love and light to share with the world.
When, in reality, these were nothing more than common health advice simply repackaged in the Liver King branding, all with the sole purpose of selling more supplements. Think of it this way, when someone followed the 9 tenets and didn't end up looking like the Liver King, they assumed it was because they weren't eating raw meat and organs like he did. However, most people are far too grossed out by that kind of diet to even try it once. That's where the Liver King swooped in with a miraculous solution to this problem: his ancestral supplements, which according to him provided the same benefits as eating raw organs without the gross out factor.
If you want to be a top king, if you want unlimited access to cars, money, and if you want to find your queen, then you have to fuel your efforts with Ancestral Supplements liver, beef organs, and bone marrow with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because liver is king!
Of course, this was nothing more than marketing nonsense. You see, the whole premise of the Liver King's content and products was that following his advice would allow his viewers to become just as jacked as him, when in reality that wasn't even possible. Many, including Joe Rogan, called him out for being juiced up on steroids.
Have you seen that bloke that eats just the raw?
Yeah, that's a gimmick, that guy.
It just looks ridiculous. He's got a plate of hearts and it just looks weird.
He's got an ass filled with steroids is what he's got.
Yeah, he should have a big plate of steroids next to it.
That is not a natural body.
Some even suspected him of getting plastic surgery to make his abs look more defined.
My opinion is that Liver King probably had etching of his abs.
Is this you relaxed?
So here's the thing, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I've been flexing my abs for so many years when I take my shirt off.
Hey, wait,
for me,
you turn off all the camera. Let me see unflex, and I can tell people if it's ab etching or not.
And I can actually almost sleep. You're almost programmed with your abs to be a little bit flexed.
If they're the same unflexed, then we have a little bit of a situation.
Brian, however, continued to deny these allegations and kept claiming that he was completely natural whenever someone confronted him about it.
A year ago, maybe 2 years ago, it was all about like PEDs and steroids, right? And then, you know, same question, same answer. I didn't touch the stuff, don't touch the stuff, right?
Joe Rogan criticized you. Joe Rogan's a big person in terms of his platform. Big. How did that feel when he said, he alluded that you're on steroids or something like that?
Yeah, number one, I don't do it. And number two, what I want you to say is, you know what, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that guy, in fact, he did say he's in the 0.00001% of genetics if he does it naturally.
What is the Liver King's response to this claim that the Liver King is hormonally
improved by science.
The question has always been, do you take steroids? Do you take PEDs? The answer to that is no.
And while many in the fitness industry didn't believe his claims,
and aside from eating raw meat and having a beard, there's nothing ancestral about this guy. He's training with high-tech equipment, training properly, progressive overload. I'm gonna spoil it right now. I don't think he's natural. Don't believe that.
hundreds of thousands of ordinary viewers did, resulting in him selling more useless supplements and becoming even richer in the process. But just when the Liver King saw himself as untouchable, everything came crashing down almost overnight. His downfall began with a single hour-long video from a channel called More Plates, More Dates, simply titled The Liver King Lie. The host of this channel, Derek, actually discovered the Liver King just months after his online debut and called him out for being on performance-enhancing drugs.
You know, he looks, I don't know, deceivingly unnatty, to be honest, or deceivingly, what would be the proper description of this guy? He does not look natty really at all.
Despite this early expose, Brian continued his shtick of showing off his physique online and using it to promote his supplements. So Derek decided to dig deeper and uncovered undeniable proof of the allegations he'd made against Brian in his first video. He found an email Brian sent to a fitness coach asking for advice, and it contained the whole truth clear as day.
But as I've reached my mid-40s, it's getting harder and the back fat me. To support these exhaustive efforts, I've recently started taking Omnitrope. So if you guys don't know Omnitrope, this is pharmacy-grade human growth hormone. The brand, it is created by the pharmaceutical company Sandoz, I believe it is.
In the email, the Liver King not only admitted to using multiple steroids and performance-enhancing drugs, but also revealed his absurdly high dosage. As in his own words, he was spending as much as $11,000 a month on these physique enhancement juices. This revelation shattered the trust of his loyal followers and exposed him for what he truly was, a fraud. This prompted him to quickly put together an apology video, which in true YouTuber apology fashion only made the situation worse. Because while it started off okay, with him admitting fault and apologizing right out of the gate,
I'm making this video to apologize. Because I f***ed up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied. And I misled a lot of people.
He immediately followed this up by bragging about his wealth.
Because before social media, I was rich and anonymous. And after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous. And I never expected this kind of exposure in the public eye.
Not only that, but him saying that he never expected this kind of exposure was also a complete lie, since in the leaked email, he also talked about hiring a team to build the Liver King brand and hoping to hit 1 million followers by March 2022. And the rest of the apology wasn't any better either. At one point, he even tried to justify his actions by claiming he didn't believe he was cheating anyone.
I've convinced myself that this had nothing to do with the ancestral message. I convinced myself that I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the f*** am I cheating?
Completely ignoring the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of customers he deceived into believing that they could look just like him by taking his supplements. And if that wasn't bad enough, he somehow reached the conclusion that he was lying to raise awareness about depression, self-esteem issues, tendencies that others face on a daily basis.
Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves, the 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life. Our young men are hurting the most, feeling lost, weak, and submissive. So I made it my job to model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called ancestral living.
As comments under the apology pointed out, quote, "I lied because people are themselves is a wild take. This is equivalent of I cheated on you because I love you so much." This terrible apology also drew criticism from other YouTubers and creators, including PewDiePie.
I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the f*** am I cheating?
Your entire audience. You built your entire brand around being natural, ancestral, living like a caveman.
And Charlie.
80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life.
This is all very sweet and everything, but you deliver a message and then sell products based around the message, of which you just admitted a large portion of it, your physique, is a lie. Now, if you were just like a motivational speaker or just like a normal YouTuber, Instagram guy who delivers positive messages, that's one thing. You being on steroids and everything, like that's not that big of a deal. But the fact that you constantly defended being natty and sell all these programs based around it, and then aren't actually the result of those things you talk about, is pretty misleading, which he does admit.
Ultimately, the backlash eroded any goodwill people had toward him, leaving the Liver King brand tarnished forever. It was even hit with a $25 million class action lawsuit from customers who felt misled by his lies. And while this lawsuit was settled out of court, the damages these events did to his reputation remained. The smart move for him would have been to retire from the internet and focus on running his business just like he did before 2021. However, by this point, the Liver King was addicted to the attention he received from social media. So instead of quitting, Liver King began plotting a comeback, and the plan he devised was worse than anyone could have imagined. Things started off good, with him promising to go completely natty just a week after getting exposed.
I'll also answer your question. I believe so deeply in this message and the 9 ancestral tenets and the ancestral living. To answer your question, yes.
Okay.
You would go natty? Yes.
So are you going natty? That's it?
Yes.
But he was also desperate to win back his lost audience, and the only way he thought he could do that was by making his content even more gross and shocking than it was before.
Modern world, we like to have our bowl of cereal, don't we? This is a primal version of your bowl of cereal. I got my testicles in farm fresh milk from Liver King Ranch. The most feared warriors, the Maasai.
He also began involving his wife and his kids in his content, having them eat the same disgusting foods as he did.
Valentine's Day is about spending time with the people that you love most. And there's no people that I love most more than my liver queen. Eat your heart out.
Putting the sheer grossness aside, viewers also noticed that despite his claims of going natural, he wasn't losing much muscle. In fact, his skin was getting more and more red with each passing day, which is a telltale sign of steroid usage. However, Brian kept claiming to be natty until a video from Charlie forced the truth out of him. In August 2023, Charlie uploaded a video titled "Liver King is Looking Bad," discussing the current state of the Liver King and how far he's fallen since getting exposed.
He's doing the exact same stuff as he was prior to having all of the steroid usage come to light. But it looks like he's aged 20 years in the last 8 months. It looks like he's one testicle sandwich away from actually exploding. In every TikTok I've seen of him, his body is bright red. It looks like Arnold's face in the movie Total Recall when he takes his helmet off in space and his eyes pop out of his skull, like right before blowing up. That's what Liver King's body looks like. It looks like it is struggling to stay in one piece.
Brian saw this video and decided to upload a response. In an attempt to prove Charlie wrong, he started by openly admitting that while he did go natural for 220 days, he was now back on the sauce. But it was okay because he mentioned it on his website.
So Moist Critical calls me out, says that I'm back on steroids, has a whole bunch of accusations. Here's what I have to say back. Moist Critical, you're late to the party. All you had to do was go to liverking.com. All of it's there, all of it.
Not realizing that this only made him look more guilty, with comments like, "He never stopped, and now he doesn't have to hide it. He's admitting to 10% of what he's actually taking," and "Forget being an influencer, Liver King should be a politician. He talks and dodges questions like one." Besides, if he truly cared about transparency, he would have made a video telling his viewers about his relapse, not quietly writing it on his website where most of his audience would never see it. But that's the thing, the only thing Liver King cares about is regaining the massive audience he once had. Which brings us to his latest comeback attempt, and the brand new grift is cooked up to go with it. In April 2025, Netflix released the trailer for their upcoming documentary on Brian, titled Untold: The Liver King. This trailer made it sound like something similar to The Tiger King, with an in-depth expose and a behind-the-scenes look on the life of the Liver King. Now, it's possible the documentary began production back when Brian still had some relevance online. Maybe he even thought that this would be the ticket to becoming popular once again. But by this point, no one really cared to learn more about him, something made painfully clear by the number of dislikes received on the trailer. And the comments under it were even more brutal, with viewers writing things such as, "Netflix finally found the bottom," and "He paid Netflix to put this one on there." People were also angry at Netflix for giving him a platform in the first place. Put simply, expectations for the documentary were already on the floor even before it dropped. And unfortunately for the Liver King, its release only made the situation worse, as the few people who did watch it were left utterly disappointed. Instead of the deep expose they were promised, the whole thing felt like one big justification for why Brian lied to his audience. From him trying to farm sympathy by claiming he discovered the ancestral lifestyle while searching for a cure for his sick children, to straight up coming up with excuses for lying to millions of people. Brian also spent most of this documentary trying to present himself as this changed man, someone who lives off of fruit and does absurd rituals like thanking each piece of fruit before eating it. Given his long track record of lies, it's easy to assume he was lying here too, even if we give him the benefit of the doubt and assume he really quit steroids and now lives on fruit and veggies. It doesn't matter, because in the end, this new image is just a setup for his next hustle, building over 300 ranches where people can stay and live close to nature. That said, despite everything he's done and continues to do, Liver King Supplement Company is still raking in millions. And that's not too surprising when you consider the fact that the supplement industry is worth over $150 billion globally. It's an industry built on selling promises, often targeting vulnerable or impressionable people, searching for quick fixes and better health. Many of his customers probably don't even know who the Liver King is, let alone the long list of controversies tied to his name. However, while his business continues to thrive in the background, his presence on the internet is a different story. His documentary was a flop, the engagement on his social media posts is abysmal, people just don't care anymore, and there's nothing he can do now to change that. And there's nothing he can do now to make things better. That said, he can make things even worse for himself, and it seems like he just did. As I was working on this video, the Liver King found a new shtick to farm engagement online, threatening Joe Rogan of all people. He started posting bizarre, almost incoherent videos almost out of nowhere, challenging Rogan to a fight.
For anything and everything. Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight. Honorable. And we don't have to pretend or make any videos. The world is watching. They'll make the videos for us.
This was a full circle moment for the Liver King, since Rogan was one of the first public figures to call him out for lying about his steroid usage.
Have you seen that bloke that eats just the raw?
No, that's a gimmick, that guy.
It just looks ridiculous. He's got a plate of hearts and it just looks weird.
He's got an ass filled with steroids is what he's got.
Yeah, he should have a big plate of steroids next to it.
That is not a natural body.
Of course.
Now, it's unclear if Brian was angry about that now after so many years, or if this was nothing more than a publicity stunt. What was clear, however, was that the Liver King seemed to be under the influence of something serious when making this challenge, as evident from one of his pupils being extremely dilated compared to the other, which also might explain why, after getting completely ignored by Rogan, he had the bright idea to travel to Texas and threaten him with guns in his hands.
Today's Liver King, man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. Yeah. I have zero training in jiu-jitsu. You're a black belt. You should dismantle me. But I'm picking a fight with you. You'll rule. Whatever you want me to weigh, I'll weigh it. I weighed 190 this morning. I'll come to you whenever you're ready to go.
He even brought a box with a gun inside, which he said was a quote gift for Rogan.
It's a gun on top of cash, like he thinks he's in the I don't know what he was gonna do with this but he took that box, okay? He says it's a present, a gift for Joe Rogan, and he takes it with him to Austin, Texas while he's in the hotel.
Yes. Family car. My boys, my queen, our dogs. We come bearing gifts. Gifts for those that deserve it. See you here in a minute. That's how we do in Texas. Welcome to Texas, Joe Rogan. Oh, you forgot?
This was a step too far, resulting in Brian getting arrested as soon as he left his hotel, and getting charged for making a terroristic threat. And while he's out on bail now, this feels like it's only the beginning of the end for the Liver King. And when the audience realizes the person selling authenticity is anything but authentic, the backlash can be brutal.
I hate OnlyJayus. I don't usually say I hate people, but I would pay to slap the shit out of OnlyJayus. Was scrolling through my For You page and OnlyJayus' live came up. I feel like I just got hate crimed. OnlyJayus is one of, if not the most hated creator on TikTok. She has been a constant controversy magnet for the last few years. And while none of these controversies were able to make her lose her audience overnight, they've been slowly chipping away at her online reputation. It's gotten to the point that the only people who talk about her now are the ones who hate her guts. Isabella Avila, aka OnlyJayus, started her TikTok account back in 2018. She was working at Best Buy at the time and often recorded her videos without taking off the uniform. When Best Buy found out, they did not like it one bit, resulting in her getting fired from her job.
I was working at Best Buy making videos in my uniform. They found out about it. Not even at work, like before work, after work, just in my uniform. They found out about it, told me to delete the videos or we're gonna fire you. So I deleted the videos and then they fired me.
They fired you anyway?
Yeah, they fired me anyway.
This gave her the push she needed to pursue social media full time and do everything she could to succeed at it. During this time, she started uploading fun fact and life hack videos that went super viral.
You can tell which one of your friends likes who by just paying attention a little bit more. If you're in a group and something funny happens or somebody tells a joke, people tend to be laughing while looking at the person they like most.
The success of these videos was a massive boost for her TikTok, allowing her to go from just over 100,000 followers in September of 2019 to 1 million followers just a month later. And while her TikTok was doing numbers, she also started a YouTube channel under the same name in October of 2019 and posted her first video titled "God Isn't Real, But Why He Exists." From there, she continued posting a variety of videos, like vlogs and Q&As, but her most popular uploads were the video essays on topics such as hypnosis is real, the meaning of life, and where are the aliens? The audience loved the deep yet entertaining discussion of these fascinating topics from OnlyJayus.
But hypnosis, while it can be described as such, is so much deeper than mind control. It's real and it's not a hoax. The future of hypnosis will be to fully realize the incredible potential of our natural hypnotic abilities. It allows us to open up, relax, change, laugh, and it teaches us to have a little bit more fun.
With one commenter under this video writing, "Please don't stop making these videos. They are so interesting, I love them." What fans didn't know at the time was that these videos were hiding a terrible secret that ended up being a major reason behind OnlyJayus' downfall. We'll get back into this later in the video. Getting back to her rise on social media, she also started posting her popular TikToks on YouTube Shorts after its launch in July of 2021, which directed even more people to her long-form content on YouTube as well as her TikTok page. And as if succeeding on both TikTok and YouTube wasn't enough, she even got hired by Netflix to host a podcast called Know It All in March of 2020.
Hey know-it-alls, remember my riddle from last episode? What is somewhere we've already been and is not here? Shout it out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Space.
And to top it off, she even received a sponsorship from Tinder.
Here's some easy tricks that might just get you more matches on Tinder.
Put simply, OnlyJayus had everything a TikToker / online influencer could ever dream of, but it didn't take long for her to lose it all. Fast forward to today, and her career is at an all-time low. Her TikTok account is struggling to clear 100,000 views, despite having over 18 million followers. Most of her recent YouTube videos have terrible like to dislike ratios, and people even created a petition for her to get banned from TikTok, with over 447,000 signatures to date. Which begs the question, what happened? How did a TikToker who makes harmless life hack videos become the most hated person on the platform? As I briefly mentioned earlier, OnlyJayus has been a constant controversy magnet for the last 3 years or so. That said, most of these controversies can be divided into 2 main categories, the first of which is her extreme racism. OnlyJayus has always presented herself as a wholesome and inclusive person, and that's what her fans believed as well. That is, until February 2021, when TikToker Freak the Gemini posted a video exposing her for the deeply disturbing messages she sent back in 2016.
Everybody here that I love you no matter your sex, your gender, your sexuality, your faith, or your race.
Goofy alert, guess that didn't age well, cause this you. At the bottom, calling someone the hard ER, a word used to oppress black people in my community.
The messages read, "You told yourself to grow up." Oh yeah, totally. Going to high school, college classes, work, and working 7 to 8+ hours on YouTube is so not hard. Butch, grow up. Let your damn balls drop before you start talking shit to pop on the internet, you bottomless pit of insecurity. Again, autocorrect, you dumb c. And yes, you're right, the abortion didn't work, which is why my parents hate me and why I've been in foster care for the past 2 years. So congrats on that. Go F yourself, you piece of. I honestly hope your parents get cancer. I hope everyone you love dies, and most of all, I hope Trump gets shot, so your dumbass self gets to live in a world with Clinton as president. While all of these messages were extremely inappropriate and disturbing, they would pale in comparison to her last message, which read, "I'm done talking to a hard R-loving adshole, have fun with sucking." These messages were allegedly directed at another white creator who was dating a black person at the time, so instead of using the N-word with a hard R as an insult, she tried to insult the person for loving a black person, which some might argue is even worse.
Here's the thing, she didn't just say the N-word. It's not like she was mouthing it and said the words in a song. There are levels to it. There's the white influencer dancing and then mouthing the words with an A at the end. There's calling someone the N-word. There's calling someone the N-word with a hard R at the end. And then there's calling someone a n***ver. A slur is a slur, but to insult someone for being in a relationship with a black person by calling them a n***ver, it does not get any worse than that.
Admittedly, these messages were from 2016, back when she was 17 years old, so she still had the opportunity to own up to her mistake, make a sincere apology, and vow to never repeat this mistake again. OnlyJayus, however, decided it would be best to make a corporate apology with hollow promises and clearly fake tears.
In my past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric and derogatory language to hurt others, because I knew what that word meant, and I understood the power behind it, but I said it anyway because it was the meanest thing that I could think of, and I am so sorry to everyone, but especially to those in the black community, because only you guys can forgive me for this, and there is no excuse, and there are no justifications for what I said, and you guys deserve better.
Some people did try to defend her, like this one person who wrote, "You asked for an apology, you got an apology. Take the apology." Most saw this whole thing as fake and insincere, with one comment stating, "This is so upsetting. I want to believe she's a good person since I like her content because she has reflected anti-racist rhetoric in past TikToks. But she just keeps digging her grave deeper and deeper. First, she takes a long time to respond to this problem. Then she thinks she can redeem herself by following lots of black creators. And then she makes a response video that looks really quickly thrown together. It's also clear that she hasn't been crying, but rather that's the face of someone who's been having a panic attack. That leaves me to believe she is more worried about her follower count / popularity rather than her quality as a person. She's panicking to save her spotlight, but she's doing all the wrong things. Hopefully she can take a step back and address this properly after she's cleared her head, because I want to see some more of her content. Other creators on TikTok were also calling her out for trying to seem like she was deeply hurt and crying during the video.
Everything I hated about OnlyJayus apology. Number first is the fake crying. I don't know what Miss Little Thing thought she was doing, but she was like she was crying when we all know she wasn't. Stop.
Put simply, the whole apology was completely rejected by the internet. Making more videos, crying on camera, and pleading for forgiveness would have only made the situation worse, and OnlyJayus knew about this. So instead, she tried to show her audience that she was improving as a person.
The first book that I decided to pick up was How to Be Anti-Racist by Dr. Ibram Kendi, and this will push readers that think that they're not racist into being something better.
Regardless of her intentions, this came off as extremely performative, with even Charlie mocking her for posting this video.
You need to buy a book on how not to be racist. You've already failed.
I think you're already too far gone.
However, despite the public ridicule, she still had one last chance to redeem herself. You see, near the end of her apology, she promised to collab with more black creators on TikTok as a way to raise awareness on the issue of racism.
So I want to take this time to take a step back and share my platform with some amazing black creators who are going to tell their story to try and educate others on the trauma that happens when we use this kind of language.
After watching this, a black TikToker by the name of Aunt Karen Zero reached out to OnlyJayus, and the two agreed to post videos together in the upcoming days. However, days turned into weeks and the collab video never got uploaded, leaving fans nothing but confused. Well, as it turns out, OnlyJayus failed to follow through on her end of the bargain, despite making such a big deal out of this in her apology. This made Aunt Karen feel like she was just used for attention, then tossed aside when the controversy lost steam. After getting fed up with the situation, she posted a series of videos on her TikTok publicly calling out OnlyJayus on her behavior.
So this message is for you, OnlyJayus. Now, you become a mutual of mine after your whole N-word debacle. Said you want to collaborate with me. We email, and suddenly you've dropped off the face of the earth. So are black people just tokens for you to use when you're ready to play? Because I can tell you one thing. If you were really truly sorry about what you said, you would not have lied and said you were going to do something you clearly aren't trying to do.
These videos were quickly eroding the little credibility OnlyJayus had left with her audience. But just like before, she still had the opportunity to admit her mistake and show that she meant it by doing the right thing. OnlyJayus, however, had a better idea: to go on a rage-filled rant and blame everything on her ADHD while taking zero responsibility for not following through on her promise.
What are people mad at me for now? Not checking my emails in a timely manner. I wish I was joking. I forgot to respond to an email from this creator that wanted to collab with me, and instead of just like hitting me up again, they made 7 videos about it. Can you please leave me the f alone? I have a diagnosed neurological disorder that makes me forget things and procrastinate due to time blindness. I forget to eat for days. I procrastinate sleep for more days. I barely text my family back, and I just had to move apartments because my address got leaked, and you're gonna throw a fit because I didn't make you my priority?
But this wasn't even the end of the controversy. The thing is, people always suspected that OnlyJayus' apology was scripted. That much was clear. But here's where it gets insane. Isabella didn't even write her own apology. Instead, it was ghostwritten by a TikTok user, Just Xander, who later posted a video exposing her lies.
I had someone ghostwrite their apology so that they didn't lose their brand deals.
The person that helped you write the apology is
me. Hi. I already talked about it once before on my channel, but immediately after they confirmed it was true with me over text message, I then tried to help them to the best of my ability while still being extremely angry and frustrated. Helped with a good bit of the apology, especially the part about black creatives. When we were both talking about that part in the apology, I really did think that they would hold up their end of the bargain, you know?
By this point, the backlash against OnlyJayus reached even the most secluded corners of the internet. Both Netflix and Tinder quickly dropped any partnership with her to avoid impacting their brands, and someone even started a change.org petition to get her account banned from TikTok. And while TikTok didn't ban her account, the nearly 450,000 signatures painted a clear picture of the overwhelming backlash directed at her. The only silver lining from this entire controversy is that she hasn't repeated the same mistake since, though I can't say the same for the second major controversy behind her colossal downfall: blatant and continuous plagiarism. It all started in 2020 when she accused TikToker Jonathan Moss of stealing her video about the meaning behind being born in a certain month. She also called him out on Twitter, stating, "TikTok creators should be called out when they copy others' TikTok creators' videos word for word." But as Jonathan showed in his duet, he didn't steal anything from Jayus, and simply used the same article as her to make his video.
I do not own information. I think it's okay for other creators to do fact videos. It literally does not bother me. I just think it's really weird when other big creators think it's okay to copy my video word for word and act like you didn't.
Did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on who you are as a person and the things that could possibly happen to you?
Yo, did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on you and the things that can happen to you in your life?
The drama with Jonathan ended rather uneventfully, but it was about to become one of the biggest mistakes of her entire career. You see, the altercation with Jonathan made many of her viewers realize that she was simply copying ideas from elsewhere on the internet and presenting them as her own. So they started digging through her older content, and the amount of blatant plagiarism they found was staggering. Remember her long-form video essays on YouTube that viewers loved? Well, as it turns out, large portions of these essays were straight up copied word for word from Reddit posts or other similar sources, including the very first video she posted on the platform.
I have absolute proof that God does not exist. This proof is absolute, but immaterial. You can't see it or measure it, but it exists. It's beyond comprehension, and thus we should not even question it. It's everywhere at all times. You just need to have faith that it's there and that it's truth. My proof is as real as any god.
In the description of the video, she listed a few sources for her arguments, but completely failed to mention the Reddit post she stole from Bar for Bar, making it seem like she was deliberately hiding her real sources. She took things a step further in her Look at Netflix video, where she plagiarized from 3 different articles, starting with an article from Comparitech.
As of 2020, Netflix users watched an average of 3.2 hours of video per day through the service. That's 6 billion collective hours per month. If we assume that each hour of streaming services use 3 gigabytes of data, this means that we're using around 288 gigabytes per month of Netflix alone. Of course, this is assuming you're using HD video. If you prefer 4K, those numbers are far higher.
Before moving on to Forbes.
Netflix is facing some seriously steep competition with new powerhouses such as Disney Plus and the soon-to-be-launched Apple TV.
And even stealing an entire passage from a post on LinkedIn.
In 2013, Netflix required massive amounts of fast storage and fast networking for streaming. At the time, it had 100 to 150 terabytes per server, which has grown massively since then. Netflix CEO Reese Hastings stated in 2015 that users have streamed 42.5 billion hours of video through the service.
And it wasn't just YouTube videos either. Viewers found that many of her TikToks were also word-for-word recreations of things that already existed on the internet.
Just trying to confirm, everybody's tired all the time, right? No matter how much sleep we get or caffeine we consume, but also we have a lot of trouble even just falling asleep, and we're constantly hungry, but also kind of always nauseous. We're spending every waking moment either working or cleaning, but feeling like nothing ever actually gets accomplished.
By this point, most of her fans were seeing her for what she truly was. A prolific content thief. There was still an argument to be made that she was simply converting text into video format, and that didn't count as stealing. However, this flawed argument quickly falls apart if we consider the fact that Hollywood producers still need an author's permission before adapting their book into a movie. So just because she was changing mediums didn't mean she could copy someone else's work word for word. Well, at least she wasn't stealing other TikTok creators' videos word for word, staying true to the standards she set in her own tweet, right? Sadly, no.
I'm going to be teaching you how to fake your own death.
How to fake your own death.
Immediately start paying off all your debt.
You're also going to want to pay off all of your debt.
This ensures that no debt collectors will come looking after you.
It's going to ensure that no debt collectors come looking for you.
No one will report you to the police for unpaid debts.
We're calling the police to try and get their money back.
This wasn't an isolated incident either.
Okay, boom, the bomb exploded, you have to act immediately. First of all, don't look at the flash because it's going to blind.
Boom, the bomb went off, you have to act fast. Okay, first things first, don't look at the flash, it'll blind you.
You don't have a chance to get to a shelter. Your safest bet is to lay down face down and cover your head.
If you can't find shelter, your best bet is going to be to lay down on the ground, face down, covering your head and ears.
Fact number 1, Wikipedia articles can be super long, right? Well, did you know that if you replace this word en with simple,
just delete this en dot and type in simple.
It'll simplify the entire article for you?
Wikipedia will dumb it down for you.
Enter the name of your class, file type, and then 2 dots PPT.
And the subject you need to learn about, followed by file type : PPT.
You will find tons of slides and PowerPoints on the subject that you're studying.
And a bunch of different PowerPoint presentations on the subject are gonna pop.
OnlyJayus' blatant thievery was too much for even her most loyal fans to defend, resulting in most of them turning against her. The fact that she did this and earlier called someone out for, quote, copying her. People who only copy others are not only lazy, they have absolutely no personality. That's why they can only mimic the creativity of others. Neither thing is something to be proud of. Jayus tried to ignore the drama and continued posting like nothing had happened. That is, until she copied from the wrong man. Everyday Alex.
When you get a new job, do just enough to not get fired.
Put in the bare minimum, just enough not to get fired.
And then after about 6 months, or when a new position opens up, make a sudden, drastic change.
In like 6 months or whenever a new position opens up, you're gonna kick it into high gear.
Start coming in early, grind really hard, offer to take work home.
You're gonna come into work early, you're gonna ask to bring like work home.
Alex posted a video calling her out, to which she immediately responded by stating, "This guy's claiming I stole his content, but we used the same Reddit page and read off of it. I'm just gonna ignore it because honestly, it's kinda silly." She was likely hoping that this would be enough to satisfy her viewers and prevent Alex from taking this issue any further. However, Alex wasn't backing out this easily, so he posted a response in which he promised to pay $10,000 to charity if anyone could find the Reddit post Jayus was talking about.
OnlyJayus stole one of my TikTok videos. I have the proof on my page. I called her out, she denied it, and said this, that we both got the idea from the same Reddit post. I am offering $10,000 to charity right now if she can send me the Reddit post. And if any of you on the internet can find the Reddit post, I'll give you $1,000 and we'll donate the other $9,000 to a charity of your choice.
After learning about Alex's challenge, Jayus claimed that she had screenshotted the original post on her phone many years ago and hosted a live stream to find it live. And after stumbling around on her phone for a bit, she actually found the screenshot that matched her video script. But before she could claim her victory, Alex posted a series of videos showcasing how she faked the whole thing.
I actually haven't even sat down and found the screenshot yet.
Oh really? Because the Reddit thread is bookmarked.
Shows how much my number.
Fake scrolling.
There's gotta
You know
be
where
well
it is.
over, like, I found the screenshot. It's this one. And I took the screenshot March 20th, 2020.
The date thing is meaningless. Here's a fake post we made, and this is how easy it was for us to change the date. We used a program to check for modification, and you can see here the result is looks like computer generated or modified.
However, things got even crazier when Alex did a bit more digging and found the real truth.
We found how she got the rest of the screenshot. It turns out you can search Reddit for recent deleted posts. We used the script in the screenshot and saw that she commented it. She commented it on a different subreddit where she thought nobody would see, and then deleted it so that she had the convincing looking thing for her screenshot. She actually posted it twice because there's some typos in the first one. And then she changed the date on the screenshot, which you can do easily.
Alex also pointed out that the screenshot she claimed to have taken in 2020 had a resolution of 1290 by 2796 pixels. And the only iPhone that had that display was the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which was released in late 2023. So unless you received an early sample of the 15 Pro Max from Apple 3 years before its launch, the screenshot was clearly taken more recently. At this point, Jayus realized that there was nothing that she could do to deny the truth anymore, so she simply ignored Alex and went back to stealing videos from other creators.
A slur is a slur, but to insult someone for being in a relationship with a black person by calling them a nigga lover?
And while saying extremely racist stuff as a teen and stealing content from others is bad, it's still not bad enough to make her the most hated person on TikTok. After all, there are literal PDF files on TikTok and other platforms that deserve a lot more hate from the internet. So why did OnlyJayus become the recipient of so much backlash from every corner of the internet? The answer to that can be explained by this comment on YouTube, which reads, "The amount of time she's been exposed is a world record. In other words, she's been involved in so many controversies over the last 3 years that even people who've never watched her videos know her as a content thief who said the N-word with the hard R." This, combined with her over-the-top reactions to drama,
They made 7 videos about it!
have turned her into the perfect target for hate on the internet, to the point that she would be criticized no matter what she does. Like when she posted this video about getting a free wallet by following a service dog.
If a service dog ever approaches you but they're alone, that means that their owner's in trouble and they probably can't move, so you should follow him, because you'll get a free wallet.
This was clearly a joke that has been circulating on the internet for decades. But when Jayus posted this video, the internet lost its collective mind, with everyone from her viewers to disabled creators calling her out for how insensitive and dangerous this video was.
Why do able-bodied people think they can make jokes at disabled people's expense? Especially because I know you think that's a joke, but there's people who will take that seriously and actually do that to a disabled person. And as somebody with a service dog who's trained to go get somebody if I have a seizure, I'd be devastated if somebody was such a shitty to steal my stuff when I'm unconscious and having a medical emergency.
Some people did try to defend her video, like this one person who stated, "I'm sure she's an awful person or whatever, but I gotta say the joke about service dogs, and I say this being blind and a crippled person and working with a lot of blind people is not offensive. It's the kind of humor we tell each other all the time. I'm so effing sick of people telling disabled people how to feel about jokes and words, like we're not perfectly capable of knowing how we feel and speaking for ourselves. Honestly, out of everything that JS got called out for, that's the one thing that was genuinely just idiotic. The rest all seem pretty fair to me." Another commenter shared a similar sentiment, writing, "As a physically disabled person, people should always lighten up about dark humor. It was clearly a joke, and anybody who would be genuinely swayed to pickpocket from a TikTok are predisposed to heinous acts anyway." However, the backlash against this video was intense enough to drown out any support, adding another entry to a long list of controversies, which in turn made her even more despised on the internet. Unfortunately for OnlyJayus, she has no one to blame but herself for the complete destruction of her reputation. She has been trying to fix the issue by doing things like deleting comments, however, she won't be making a comeback through comment moderation anytime soon. The only options left for her are either to quit right now or continue posting and slowly fade into internet obscurity forever. Of course, she can always try to start another controversy to increase her viewership, but I wouldn't recommend that. That same tension between image and reality also explains why Nas Daily's reputation became so easy to unravel. Blasphemous HD, Illuminati, Master Oogway. These are just a few of the many examples of YouTubers who were once at the top of the world, but who lost their audience and came crashing back down to earth. However, fewer faced a more drastic downfall than Nas Daily. He went from racking up millions of views per video at his peak to struggling to hit 100,000 despite having 13 million subscribers. Believe it or not, but Nas was a big deal at one point. He was inescapable on YouTube. No matter where you looked, you'd eventually come across Nas with his massive grin and black t-shirt, covering an obscure yet interesting topic.
I found a man who is a human calculator.
Hi, I'm Scott Flansburgh, and I'm faster than any calculator on the planet Earth.
He can add numbers faster than he can talk, and he never graduated from high school. How did he learn?
Most importantly, Nas and his content was actually loved by the audience, with a comment on one of his older videos reading, "I'm much obliged to Nas for such inspiring videos, giving a light of goodness in everyone's heart watching him. I wish that this channel reached to every individual sharing this land." Fast forward to today, and almost all of his videos have a horrible like to dislike ratio, regardless of their topic. The love and respect people once had for him and his content has now turned into widespread seething hatred. One person on Twitter wrote, "Is it weird that I hate Nas Daily more than anyone else on earth? I mean, he makes videos, which is ultimately not that big a deal, but when I see his face, I feel like I'm going to have a stroke." And unsurprisingly, almost everyone in the replies agreed with the OP sentiment. So what happened? How did Nas manage to turn such a massive audience against himself, effectively ending his career? Well, it might have something to do with his unchecked ego, narcissism, and a tendency to exploit others' culture and religion for content. But to get the full picture of how he reached this point, we first have to step back and start from the very beginning. Nusser Yassin, aka Nas, was born to an Arab Muslim family of Palestinian descent that was living in the small city of Araba, Israel. And while this detail might seem insignificant at first, it would later play a pivotal role in his ultimate downfall. At the age of 19, he successfully got into Harvard for aerospace engineering. His degree of choice also inspired him to upload his first YouTube video in November of 2012, titled Operation Skyfall: First Hamburger in Space. As the name suggests, this was a video of Nas and friends from Harvard attaching a hamburger to a weather balloon and sending it 30,000 meters into space.
2, 1.
This became a bigger success than Nas could have ever imagined, earning over 500,000 views in less than 20 days. Although this didn't motivate Nas to start uploading regularly, it did reveal the massive potential audience that was waiting on YouTube. So 4 years after his first upload, Nas returned to the internet, this time with the explicit goal of becoming a content creator. He started a fairly unique vlog series on Facebook in which he uploaded a minute-long video every single day while showcasing interesting things from around the world. The series lasted for 1,000 daily videos until January of 2019, with his Facebook page gaining over 12 million followers. A month later, he started a new series of weekly videos on YouTube. These new videos were longer and had much better production quality.
20 million people. 20 million people visit one city every year. And that city is not London, New York, or Mumbai. That city is a small dot on the map called...
And that's when he started seeing mainstream levels of success. Many of these longer videos went super viral, gaining millions of views and propelling Mars onto the forefront of YouTube. But it didn't take long for this empire to begin unraveling, ultimately resulting in the pitiful state it is today. However, unlike many other YouTubers who immediately fell off after a single big controversy, Nas's decline is due to a series of massive blunders over the years, like when he got caught trying to exploit an elderly tattoo artist to make a quick buck. In July of 2021, Nas uploaded a video titled "World's Oldest Tattoo Artist." The video featured a 103-year-old tattoo artist from the Philippines named Apo Wang Od, who relied on traditional methods like using thorns instead of modern machinery for her art.
In the jungles of the Philippines, there is a woman who is 103 years old. She is the oldest tattoo artist in the world, and she doesn't use a tattoo machine, and she doesn't let you choose your own tattoo.
This was a classic Nas Daily style video, with nothing out of the ordinary. That is, until you peeked into the video's description and found this. For today's video, we flew all the way to the highlands of the Philippines to bring you this story. And what's even better is that we convinced Wang Od to become a teacher, so she's now officially teaching on Nas Academy. Put simply, Nas was offering a tattoo course from Wang Od on his own education platform called Nas Academy. And this was great. Nas got more people to visit his site, Wang Od got the opportunity to share her art with the world, and the people who were interested in traditional tattooing got to learn it directly from the master. It was a win-win situation for everyone. However, it wasn't long before things took an unexpected turn. On August 4th, 2021, someone claiming to be Wang Od's relative made a revelation about his tattooing course on Facebook, stating, "Warning, Wang Od Academy is a scam. My grandmother did not sign any contract with Nas Daily to do any academy. Some people are taking advantage of our culture. Please help us stop this disrespect to the legacy of Apo Wang Od and to the Buttbot tribe." In response, Nas uploaded a video showing Wang Od putting her thumbprint on the contract. This was also accompanied by a now deleted statement from Nas, reading, "We approached Wang Od because, just like you, we love her. We love her traditions and are inspired by her. We wanted to share her culture for future generations to appreciate and respect the ancient Kalinga tradition of Mamba Batok. So we pitched her family with the idea of creating Wang Od Academy. Her and her family both loved this idea and have worked with us to build it, with Wang Od teaching herself. As a matter of fact, Wang Od's trusted niece, Estella Palangdao, was present and translated the contents of the contract prior to Wang Od affixing her thumbprint, signifying her full consent to the project. This is the clearest evidence that it is not a scam, and achieved the consent of her and her immediate family. Now, this could have been a fairly decent response to the allegations. However, the way Nas ended this statement only caused more anger. It read, "40% of Nas Academy is made up of Filipinos, so for us, this is personal. We deeply care about the Philippines and respect the many cultures and traditions that exist across across the country. Maybe this was his effort to seem more credible to the outraged Filipino viewers. Most people compared his reasoning to the kind racists use, like saying, "I'm not prejudiced, I have friends from that group," which only fueled more outrage. Things got even worse when Gracia, the person who originally called out Nas Academy, made another post on Facebook stating, "Hello everyone, Wang Od Academy is not real. I spoke to her and she said she did not understand what the translators were saying. I'm sorry to tell you, she will not be joining the Nas Daily. I know you have some good intentions of sharing our culture to the next generation. However, our village concern is that some people are profiting and exploiting our art and culture. I know you spoke to someone and gave some money and will share profits, but Apo Wang Od is not aware of your contract. Hope you sort this out. Thank you, have a nice day." This went against everything Nas was saying, and after getting even more backlash, he immediately sent a team to the Philippines to reach a mutual understanding with Wang Od and her family. Credit where credit's due, he did take action to fix the issue, but that still doesn't answer why all this happened in the first place. If Gracia hadn't spoken out against the injustice, Nas would have likely continued selling the Wang Od course on his website without fairly compensating her. However, this wasn't the only time he'd incur wrath on his Filipino audience. A day after Gracia made her original post, a Filipino farmer named Louise Mabalu also came forward with the story of her encounter with Nas Daily. Louise was the creator of the Cacao Project, a non-profit aimed at fighting deforestation by providing better support and education to the farmers. And according to Louise, Nas wanted to make a video on her project, but when he reached the site, he had some nasty things to say about the Filipinos, like farmers are so poor, and why are Filipinos so poor? She also accused him of not releasing the video on the project because in his eyes it wasn't entertaining enough. He didn't care about raising awareness towards real issues and was only concerned about the number of views his videos would get. Louise's post went viral, fueling even more backlash from around the world for his downright racist remarks, with comments reading, "Nas Daily is a liar," as well as, "Nas Daily hates the Philippines." In response, Nas uploaded a video denying the allegations, while also claiming that the entire Cacao Project is nothing but a facade.
On paper, it was supposed to be a non-profit that helps farmers. In reality, it's a for-profit that exploits farmers.
From there, this whole controversy slowly faded into internet obscurity, but the damage was already done. Regardless of how true Louise's allegations were, a big chunk of the internet now saw Nas as nothing more than a privileged racist. And while all that was going on, Nas managed to get himself into yet another controversy, this time for shamelessly presenting crypto scammers as the most kind-hearted people in the world. On November 12, 2021, Nas uploaded a now-deleted YouTube video titled "The Most Generous Bitcoin Billionaire." The video painted the founder of the FTX crypto exchange, Sam Bankman-Fried, in an extremely positive light, almost short of calling him the best person ever to live.
Guy you see next to me is the most generous billionaire in the world, and I found him.
Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my story.
Sam has crazy hair. Sam is vegan. Sam sleeps 5 hours a night. Sam lives in the Bahamas with 10 roommates. Sam is 29 years old only, but Sam has $22 billion. And he wants to donate all of it to charity.
Later, in May of 2022, Nas posted a similar video titled "Most Humble Crypto Billionaire," this time with Changpeng Zhao, the founder of Binance, which was the most popular crypto exchange at the time. And just like with Sam Bankman-Fried, the video was filled to the brim with Nas showering endless amounts of praise on Zhao.
This is the richest guy in the world from crypto, and you don't even know him.
Hi, my name is CZ.
He made over $60 billion, but his mom still called him stupid. Let me tell you his incredible story.
Both of these videos looked like ads focused on improving the image of the two crypto billionaires. However, there was no mention of these being paid promotions anywhere in the videos or in their descriptions. But as fans would later find out, there's a high likelihood that these were ads, and Nas simply didn't disclose the truth. In April of 2022, Nas went on a podcast hosted by a YouTuber named Silicon Valley Girl and accidentally spilled the beans.
Sometimes we get a brand deal in which I have to go on the spot for one full day and make a video about a person.
So sometimes the characters that are in your video are actually paid sponsorships.
Sometimes, yes.
Do you say that?
We do not say that. because, well, one, in the post, it's when we say thank you to XYZ, blah, blah, for making this possible. Two, it's like, we don't live in America.
He clearly admitted to hiding the sponsorships from his audience and tried to backpedal on it after realizing his blunder. Not to mention, his entire logic of quote, we don't live in America is extremely flawed. This is because YouTube, the platform that he uploads his videos on, is based in America and therefore has to adhere to the American law, including clear disclosure of paid promotions. This also called all of his other videos into question, leaving viewers wondering if he was genuinely interested in something or was just praising it because he was paid to do so. This, of course, opened up a whole new can of worms. Suddenly, viewers couldn't help but wonder, were any of his videos ever genuine, or was he just hyping things up because he was paid to? To make matters worse, both the good guy crypto billionaires he promoted in his videos turned out to be scammers, with massive charges of money laundering and customer fraud. Sam Bankman-Fried in particular got charged with a fine worth over $11 billion and is also serving 25 years in prison. In other words, Nas likely took the money from two of the biggest scammers to make promotional videos about how humble and charitable they are. This on its own would be enough to end the career of most YouTubers. But Nas wasn't done digging his own grave yet, as he was about to pick a fight with over 2 billion Muslims for his mockery of Islam and by extension, his hypocritical views on the Palestine-Israel conflict. In July of 2024, Nas uploaded a video titled, I studied Islam for 1 month and I lost all my hair. And this title alone was plenty disrespectful. You see, the second half of the video was referring to the tradition of men willingly shaving their heads after a pilgrimage in the holiest city of Makkah. So for Nas to refer to it as losing his hair raised some stern eyebrows from the Muslim community. And judging by the like to dislike ratio, the video wasn't any better. The whole thing was filled to the brim with misinformation and straight up lies about the religion of over 2 billion people. This led to the comment section becoming a minefield of almost every person pointing out and correcting one of Nas's many inaccuracies. Many were also simply outraged at the video and Nas's attitude towards covering such sensitive topics, with one comment reading, please study Islam properly from the scriptures, then make a video. 1 month can't be enough to study a single religion. You were just making fun of a very sensitive topic. You did Umrah to make a point. Please get yourself checked. And you should delete this video. At Nas Daily, an Islamic video creator named Smile to Jannah even made an entire video directly responding to Nas and his skewed view of Islam.
For the first time in my life, I shaved my head completely just to make a point.
Okay, this was a bit random, but why would you shave your head to make a point? And especially if you say this to a Muslim's thinking, huh? We shave our heads after pilgrimage because this was an act of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and this is something that we replicate. And you should also know the importance of intention, that the intention has to be correct for it to be accepted by God, not doing it to make a point.
But all of this would pale in comparison to the hypocrisy he showed when sharing his views on the Palestine-Israel conflict. As we mentioned earlier, while he was born in Israel, his family was of Palestinian descent, so people were naturally curious about his stance on the Palestine-Israel conflict. Nas also saw the number of people who wanted his opinion on the matter and decided to cash in with a video titled My Israel and Palestine Explained. In this video, Nas tried to portray himself as a true neutralist, someone who just wants peace.
My solution is simple. Bring people together, not apart. This is why we make these videos. This is why we support the many Israelis who want peace and the Palestinians who need peace.
However, this completely backfired, with most people seeing the video as self-serving and an attempt to trivialize such a complex matter. His attempts to appear neutral also got criticized by almost every viewer, with a comment from a Vietnamese person explaining the major flaw in his argument, stating, I know your point is kind, but I disagree with you. As a Vietnamese, I have been taught how my ancestors fought to protect the country. My country was invaded and colonized by China, France, Japan, USA. They never wanted to free Vietnam. Vietnamese people had been slaves for hundreds of years until they fought and gained victory. If they just prayed for peace, if they wanted to be friends with the invaders, the country people would have been slaves for thousands of years later. And Nas's actions outside of this video only made things worse. In a tweet he made in October of 2023, he claimed to be an Israeli first, Palestinian second, which people interpreted as him taking Israel's side in the conflict. But viewers also uncovered a video of him openly cursing at Israel with his friends, when he thought he was off camera.
How are you? I'm not Israel.
And here lies the biggest issue with Nas's stance on the Palestine-Israel issue. He's a hypocrite who is completely dishonest with his audience. He tried to present himself as a neutral party vouching for peace, but in reality, he doesn't care what happens to either side. He's only interested in making videos on the conflict and saying whatever would get him the most views, which, as you might imagine, pissed off both sides, resulting in Nas losing his entire audience. Now, looking back at his many controversies, they may seem completely unrelated at a first glance. However, there is a single thread that weaves them all together: his overinflated ego, whether it's exploiting an elderly tattoo artist or claiming he has the solution to a complicated conflict. It all starts to make sense when you realize he genuinely believes he's always right. This would also explain his complete inability to take any criticism, like when a YouTuber by the name of Avi Yamini confronted him about the mismatch between his words and actions.
Nas, how you doing, mate?
Good, man. How are you? How are you?
Tell us.
Nice to meet you, everybody.
Do you think it's cool that you're standing here and you're being employed, like you're getting paid by the World Economic Forum to promote their product?
I'll tell you what's cool. This is the video. How are you guys? Give me. You know what's really cool is that all this was done for no money.
You did it for free.
For free, my friend.
You're willing to sell yourself for free.
I'm selling myself for free because I have opinions, and I agree with those opinions.
You push the climate change agenda. You push a lot of these agendas, these woke agendas. But here, what's the carbon?
We've done more for climate change than you have.
Yeah. What have you done?
We've done.
How did you get here?
We've done more for climate change than you have.
Nas retaliated by acting like a child and rudely interrupting Avi when he was interviewing the Prime Minister of Luxembourg and running away.
I'll be honest, when I first got to Davos, he confused me by interrupting my interview with the Luxembourg Prime Minister and then running away.
Sorry, is he annoying you? Is he annoying you?
No, it's still okay. Okay, because this is Nas Daily. He's a great, listen, Nas Daily.
This guy's annoying. Be careful of this guy. He's annoying.
I was a lawyer before. If you need some help.
What law? What law? Nas might need criminal help. Nas, come here. 2 questions.
I'm good.
Wait.
Bro, I know you're.
Hold on.
All of these controversies and weird behavior have caused 99% of his audience to abandon him completely. His videos now struggle to hit 100,000 views, while his tweets barely scrape together 100 likes, despite him having over 137,000 followers on that platform. A comeback is still possible, but it would demand Nas to completely rebrand himself and start over from scratch, something I can't picture him doing anytime soon. He'll likely keep producing the same type of content, gradually fading into complete irrelevance in the coming months, with no hopes of ever regaining the massive audience he once had. To close this out, the final story shows how quickly the internet can turn on someone once the relatable brand stops feeling real. What happens when a largely unknown creator suddenly attains fame, connections, and an audience in a niche where they have zero experience? Do they A, get labeled as an industry plant?
Well, you do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this?
I know, isn't that crazy?
Feels a bit planty.
This is definitely
you got here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
B, abandon their family and alienate fans in pursuit of more success.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
to be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Or C, totally ruin their reputation and lose 80% of their audience. Unfortunately for Bobbi Althoff, it was all 3, as her transition from mummy TikToker to podcast sensation came with a whole new world of responsibilities and demands that she wasn't prepared to handle. Before becoming a podcast host, Bobbi's social media persona was geared towards making funny family and parenting content with her husband on TikTok.
I don't care what anyone says, there is nothing more embarrassing than walking around with one of these. Everyone knows how it got there. They know what you did. Your gardener, your mailman, your dad, your grandpa, your uncles, your brothers, your trash truck driver, the cashier at the grocery store. They all know it.
Bobbi's parenting TikTok era lasted from 2021 to 2023 and showcased 3 core aspects of her approach to creating content that would both help and harm her career in the future. 1, a thirst for virality. 2, a reliance on dry but witty humor to engage fans.
I thought it would be a fun idea as you to talk about our marriage. My husband sleeps downstairs and I sleep upstairs where the children sleep, and I take care of them all night long, so I'm generally pretty tired. So he does all of the cleaning and he does an amazing job at it. So yeah, that's probably Enough about our marriage. Do you think you could go downstairs and get me coffee?
While Bobbi's mummy videos weren't anything groundbreaking, her consistency and uniquely awkward personality drew viewers in and allowed her to garner over 3 million followers on TikTok. With that being said, Bobbi's success in the parenting niche was only a passing phase, as she soon set her sights on something of much more mainstream appeal. By April 2023, Bobbi released the first episode of the Really Good podcast, which featured Colleen Ballinger as a guest.
So you're rich.
Excuse me?
That's why I have you here today. You're rich.
You reached out to me, and I'm excited to be here.
So you reached out to me. We don't have to get into the details about it. I know you're a little bit maybe embarrassed.
I'm also clinically depressed.
I'm depressed too, but I'm not on medication.
Okay. To each his own.
Yeah.
Or her own.
Their own. You're depressed, you're rich, and according to the internet, you're a little funny. Yeah, let's not laugh too much.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. And we shouldn't laugh about depression.
I wasn't laughing about depression.
Yeah, you were.
Excuse me.
Please stop that. Are you serious right now?
A lot of tears that happen.
Do you post those on social media for views though?
I would disagree with that.
You want people to see you crying. Is that so they can feel emotional about what's going on, and they'll be like, I'm not going to hate her because she has feelings?
Well, that would be manipulative.
I don't think that's manipulative.
To me, that sounds manipulative.
I think that you should go back to school.
Even though the interview was later taken down, it demonstrated how entertaining Bobbi's dry humor could be, and highlighted her unusual ability to get notable celebrities on her podcast, something that would eventually become a massive source of speculation, skepticism, and success for her channel. Nowhere was this more apparent than with Bobbi's interview with the comedian Funny Marco, which racked up over 5 million views and spawned dozens of viral clips across social media.
You like tennis?
No.
Why not?
Because have you ever played?
Yeah,
it's really hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah.
So tennis is a relationship sport. And you're in a relationship. Do you feel like you're a good partner?
No.
Oh. Okay, and then expect you to say that.
Things would only get better for Bobbi as she leveraged the popularity of her previous interview to get Drake on her next episode.
Do you think I'm bad at rapping?
I've never
What's
heard
your favorite? What? You've never heard what?
Maybe on the radio, your music.
What?
Any of your music.
Okay, so you've never heard. You were gonna say you've never
Any
heard
of your
a Drake
music?
song
No.
ever.
Not that I can think
Never
of.
heard a Drake song.
Can you sing one?
No, but I'm just asking you. Are you gonna be one of those people who's I've never heard you before?
Not that I would recognize. Oh, that's Drake.
Bobbi's dismissive approach to interviewing Drake immediately struck a chord with fans, as they'd never seen such an acclaimed artist put into such an awkward situation. This translated into the video receiving around 10 million views and attracting over 500,000 new subscribers. An interview of this caliber not only exposed Bobbi to a broader audience, but gave her what was essentially a free pass to get any other artist in the industry on her podcast. However, the interview wasn't all positive for Bobbi. Eagle-eyed viewers would notice a highly flirtatious side of Bobbi's personality that wanted something more from her guests despite being married.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
I'd do it. There's you
Not an it.
I know, I just meant
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to the people watching this. And don't spill water on my couch.
Combine this with the fact that Bobbi skipped her daughter's birthday to interview Drake only degrades her reputation further.
You did, I really do appreciate
On my
that.
daughter's first birthday.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
To
this.
be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Where's your son?
Somewhere safe, and it's not his birthday.
Even though the Drake interview was a step forward for Bobbi's career, it would unfortunately set her back leaps and bounds in other crucial areas of her life. Around the same time Bobbi was having her 1 in a million interview in Drake's bed, her husband was finalizing their divorce. According to today's article, Corey Althoff had begun the divorce proceedings back in February and had indicated, quote, irreconcilable differences as the reason for their separation. While there wasn't any bad blood between the couple, it didn't stop people from speculating that Drake's interview had something to do with it, as rumors about the two having a romantic connection spread like wildfire. While Bobbi would deny these rumors, there was still questions about how she got the interview and why she was signed up to the same talent agency as Drake. During an interview on the BFFs podcast, Bobbi claimed that she contacted Drake after he engaged with her viral posts.
But yeah, then Drake liked one of the videos I had uploaded and he followed me. I didn't realize it at first. Marco called me and he was like, Bobbi, look who just followed you. So I filtered it to verified only people. And I was like, oh my God, like why would he follow me? He's like, he liked the video. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot my shot to Drake. I don't know how this, I thought the chance of him replying was like a 1%. And the chance of him saying yes was like 0.000. I was like, there's no way. So I was like, come on my podcast. I said, when are you going to come on my podcast?
And he said,
game
right away.
He was ready to do it. I flew out there I think 3 days later.
Wow.
And then you're off to the races. Now you can kind of get anybody you want.
Yeah.
Reaching out to Drake this way seemed like a plausible explanation for why a big-name celebrity who hardly does interviews would drop everything to be on an upcoming podcast. But it didn't explain why Bobbi was signed to the same talent agency as him.
I posted the thing. I got a message from Andrew at WME. He says, I'm part of the touring team. Can we talk? I said, okay, because I had I didn't know what I was doing. They signed with me that night. And then
you just didn't meet with anybody else. You're just like, this guy hit you from
first person. Boom.
Well, I knew I knew a lot. Drake is signed by WME.
Yeah,
right?
They are huge.
Yeah, I was like,
there's a lot of huge
massive
people out there.
But I was like, they're reputable, and I need help now. So
right.
I'm not I wasn't. They sounded great. They sounded like they knew what they were doing. They jumped in. I had that day, I had a team of 15 people helping me.
You signed with them after Drake.
Yeah.
Because the plant theory
I know is that they helped me get him.
William Moore signed you.
Yeah, I know. I hate that. They're taking credit for my.
Yeah, they're
you
did it. Yeah.
I was like, that's not. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I did all of the hard parts, and then now I have help. But I did all of the getting there.
Bobbi signing with WME after securing the Drake interview implies that they saw her as a viable long-term investment solely because Drake was interested in her. Also, the information about her meeting Drake wasn't public knowledge until after she signed with WME, which means WME had to be informed about Drake's interview with Bobbi by someone on the inside. Whether that was Drake or someone else is unclear, but the way Bobbi tries to play the situation off as a coincidence seems disingenuous at best and deliberately misleading at worst. Either way, the connection between the two wouldn't last long. On the 14th of August 2023, Bobbi's dream interview was taken down, and the pair unfollowed each other on social media. Even though Bobbi didn't directly address the abrupt change, she did release a video with her unamused expression at Drake's concert. This quiet feud would reignite rumors about Drake being intimate with Bobbi and lead people to speculate on if there had been some disagreement between the two. To finally put the rumors to rest, Bobbi would share an uncensored DM with Dave Portnoy that read, "My girlfriend said you slept with Drake and are getting a divorce. I am saying that is not true." To which Bobbi would reply, "I'm not commenting on it publicly, but off the record, you're right. That is not true." While Bobbi no longer had access to her most viral interview, she still had the interviewing style that made it unique and doubled down on it in subsequent podcast episodes. However, it wouldn't produce the outcome Bobbi expected.
You need a little bit of seasoning. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken just on the thing, you pull it off, and then you serve the dish. You need some motherfucking seasoning, man. Damn, I'm trying to get you to play. You lost in the sauce. You ain't shaking my hand. We finna get you to 25 million. You know what I'm saying? Just a little sprinkle.
Have a great day offset.
Just a little seasoning.
All right, you can leave now.
This is my hotel. I paid for this motherfucker. You can leave now. See how that worked?
In previous episodes, Bobbi was always in control, as she made guests uncomfortable with her unfazed attitude. But this wasn't the case with Offset's interview. Throughout their time together, Offset reciprocated Bobbi's uninterested demeanor and took every opportunity to roast her.
I'm an artist.
Okay.
What do you do? That's the question.
I interview people.
Why?
Because I want to get to know them.
Why do you want to get to know me?
I didn't.
You did.
Your team reached out to mine.
Don't cap. Let's not cap about that. That's not flex for the gram. Uh-oh. CAP. Cap.
What was that? Are you trying to make a song right now?
No, it was cap.
Okay. Wasn't.
You should try to make a song.
I honestly don't know how this came about. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Me either.
Okay, my team could have reached out to yours. I'm not gonna. I don't want to make you look bad.
They had to show me who Bobby was. I thought they were talking about Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, they had to show me what
The
Offset was.
the water boy, because you like water, so it matched.
Yeah.
It matched a little bit.
Never heard of Offset.
The water? Yes, you have.
I have not. I Googled
Damn.
you on the way here, and I read something about you.
I had to go on TikTok. I couldn't even Google you.
Clips from the interview would go viral across social media as users finally got to see Bobbi get a taste of her own medicine, with comments reading, "This is probably the most challenging interview for Bobbi so far. This was hilarious, the worst job by the interviewer and the best job by a guest," as well as, "Watching Offset annoy her to her core as she does everyone she interviews was the happiest moment I've had in a while. Bro was shitting on her the whole interview." This was a clear sign that fans were tired of Bobbi's interviewing style, of demeaning or putting guests down. After all, no one wants to see their favorite celebrity get insulted for an hour straight. Unfortunately, Bobbi realized this fact a little too late. By the start of 2024, fans were leaving her channel in droves, as Bobbi went from getting millions of views a month to barely scratching a million. The worst part about it was that the few who stayed were looking for any reason to hate Bobbi and her podcast. From people roasting her in the comments for being a talentless host, to labeling her as an industry plant. The novelty of Bobbi's stuck-up persona had worn off, and the internet wouldn't put her on a pedestal anymore.
You're not an industry plant, right?
I am, but...
So wait, what is an industry plant to you?
I mean, I don't truly know.
What is that?
I feel like it means I don't know. I mean, the industry is helping you. I don't know where. I know I applied and they were
I guess
yeah.
What I think is an industry plant is. What I think industry plan is, it's like somebody that has been that is tied to someone else in the industry and uses those connections to capitalize, and they have zero talent.
That makes more sense than what I thought it was. So I was like,
what did you think it was?
I don't know, the industry comes in and is like, hey, we pick you, you're gonna be the next. I don't know. Yeah. I don't have any ties though, so I would love to have had ties. I feel like my life would have been a lot easier if I had ties. Don't have any ties.
Yeah.
Just have
well, you do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this
I know, isn't that crazy?
Feels a bit planty.
This is definitely planty.
You got here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
At this point, users saw Bobbi's personality as less of a cute gimmick and more of a shallow persona fixated on manufacturing viral moments by being off-putting. You'd think this would be the height of the negativity towards Bobbi. But you'd be wrong, as she was about to give the audience a real reason to hate her. On the 23rd of July 2024, Funny Marco published a video titled, "Why Did Me and Bobbi Cancel Our Tour?", which detailed a career falling out between him and Bobbi, as well as a whole host of creative differences that made it impossible for the two to work together.
I did stand up before, and I'm still doing it, so I understand. I'm learning how to entertain a crowd, and it's not the same thing that you get on Instagram. This is real life where people are going to look and they want the energy and they want the feeling. And I feel like Bobbi was stiff a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey man, let's really, really work on this. And I paid script writers, let's really get him a show. And where she told me, that's not me. Bobbi was like, my comedy is me not talking a lot. And I'm like, shit, this is different. You could do that on the podcast, but in real life, this is different. So her comedy was different from what she said, from what she wanted to bring to the show, which I can respect. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing about me getting mad. I'm not saying you're doing nothing wrong. I can't, but I just don't agree with it. I can feel like I don't agree with it.
While Marco acknowledged that there was nothing wrong with having a different comedy routine, he recognized that they were incompatible and chose to terminate the tour instead of giving fans a lower quality experience.
I just want y'all to know the Bobbi tour, on my decision, I didn't want to be a part of it because I wanted to be a full production show, and I want anybody to pay $1, $2, $5, $10, $100 to really be satisfied. And I understand you're not going to satisfy everybody, but majority people matters, and I don't do anything for money. I stand on that.
Marco was trying to paint a clear picture of why the tour didn't work and why cancelling it was best for everyone, but Bobbi wouldn't see things that way. Instead, Bobbi saw this friendly criticism as a personal attack and responded in a very aggressive fashion.
So here's my version of what happened. Last year, we were supposed to go on tour, and I backed out last minute because my husband had just left me. I just had surgery. And I was super nervous going into this because I was not prepared. And I texted Marco and I said, Marco, I'm so sorry to do this, but I am so depressed right now. I literally want to myself. He doesn't reply to me. And then he unfollows me. I woke up from surgery actually to him unfollowing me. And not only that, in the coming weeks, he would go on multiple podcasts and talk about how much he didn't fuck with my style of humor.
For context, the surgery Bobbi was referring to was cosmetic in nature and wasn't as serious as she made it out to be.
Kind of up my face. So I went in to get my zit injected and I left with Botox in my forehead, which, you know, that's fine, that's normal. I had lines here, they're gone. Here's where I really up. I got under eye filler, so that's why it looks like I have 2 black eyes. Can't smile still.
Returning to her angry response video, Bobbi would try to demonize Marco and make herself look like a victim by claiming that he was forcing her to perform on stage.
During this tour, I'm trying my best. Every time I'm telling him, like, Marco, he's like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, Marco, I'm trying my best, but like, it's hard for me to get out of my comfort zone of like, I have social anxiety, like debilitating social anxiety. That's why this whole thing of me, it's not fully a character. I actually am socially awkward. I'm socially awkward. It's embarrassing. I don't want to be, so I lean into it. And I am doing my best on this stage. Our last show, I try my best to get out of my comfort zone. I drink a little, and I thought it went so well. I was like, Marco, I did everything you said. And like, I actually felt really good about it. I felt like I really got out of my comfort zone. I really felt good about it. And he's like, yeah, you killed it. It was great. Fast forward a couple more weeks, and I hear from my team that he canceled it. And I'm like, what the hell? Marco canceled the show. Like, why? They're like, I don't know. So I'm like calling him. Doesn't answer me. I'm like, okay, congratulations on the baby. Doesn't answer me. He just won't answer me. But then he's tagging me in posts of Taylor Swift dancing and being like, that's Bobbi. And I'm like, okay, at least we're still cool. Fast forward to today, and I get tagged in a video of Marco standing by a pool talking to everybody about why he canceled the tour.
You'd think with Bobbi's reaction to the demands of the comedy tour that she'd never want anything to do with them, but it was the exact opposite.
With all of that said, I'm gonna go on my own tour since you don't want to go on tour with me anymore, and it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be great.
To viewers, Bobbi's video came off as a petty act of revenge against someone who wanted nothing but the best for her career. Unfortunately, Bobbi wasn't willing to accept anything but praise for her work, and anyone who dared to criticize her was deemed a hater.
But really the bigger issue is that you people seem to not care about your digital footprint. Like, I just don't understand, because I don't know a single successful person or normal person who leaves hater comments under anything. Do you want to know what regular normal people do? They talk about people they see on the internet to each other, not under their comment section. Like, send my video in your group message. Be like, ew, how is she still relevant in your group message?
From fans to former collaborators, Bobbi was at odds with everyone who gave her a platform. And because of it, her engagement outside the drama was slowly sliding towards irrelevancy. To remedy the situation, Bobbi went on a media tour through interviews with Wired and Forbes. However, this would only make Bobbi seem more out of touch and unlikable, as she only focused on making as much money as possible.
So it's like every day I was still posting 10 videos a day, even when I had my 3 million followers, and some of those videos would completely flop and get like 50,000 views, and I was just constantly having to think, and I was like, the only thing that is so successful every time is collabs. And then I saw this video of a girl talking about how much she made from her podcast, and I think I mentally decided that she made like at least 300 a year on her podcast alone, and I was like, that's what I need to do next. Like, I need a podcast. So I started it was first called So You're Rich. And
Was
I was
it?
Yeah. And I was interviewing rich people.
Money, a recurring theme.
I didn't grow up with money. I am on a lifelong journey to get money. I love.
While doing as little work as possible.
I don't have any talents.
You have talents.
That's going to be clipped, and people are going to be like, yeah.
No, you have talents. You have an interview talent, and you said, what is do you have any journalistic background?
No, just a community college journalism class.
What is your interviewing technique?
Just no research, show up.
One of the recent examples of Bobbi's apathy and lack of care for her career was the first and possibly last episode of her vlog series.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Bobbi. I've been told that I can dance really well. Yeah. You want to try to do the dance with me? You don't want to do it with me?
Naturally, fans weren't amused, expressing their discontent with the video through thousands of dislikes and numerous critical comments, with one stating, "This is like the quote, 'I don't care about the editing, I'm about to quit anyway' vid." While Bobbi is still active on her social media platforms, she hasn't posted any news on her main channel since December 2024, and the last time she was relevant was when fans laughed at her messy breakups.
Just like hard to imagine finding someone who is like truly good for you. It's hard to imagine there's a world where there's like someone who's
Whether Bobbi realized it or not, the things that made her career what it is today were slowly slipping away. Her comedic style has worn out, her celebrity connections are dwindling, and her public perception is at an all-time low. Each one of these factors could cause a significant decline in any creator's career, but having all three is nothing short of a recipe for disaster. While it's too early to judge the future of Bobbi's career, it's important to remember that though she had achieved her dream career in a relatively short time, she could lose it just as fast if she's not careful.